it's late, make my mistakes, and somehow I don't feel them, but it's bound to hit me later tonight. I wanna say you're everything I wanted for a while and for the rest of time. I don't wanna fight for you, I just wanna talk, and I don't wanna spin around. I'm scared to call you, can't calm you down. No, better than nobody else. It's hopeless confiding. Your love kills me every time. I'm stupid addicted to you. I'm stupid addicted to you. Oh, can't get enough of you. Can't get enough of you. Oh, the pain is still the same. I tell you I don't feel it, but I've never been a liar. On my page that you can read, you're everything I wanted for a while and for the rest of time. I don't wanna fight for you, I just wanna talk, and I don't wanna spin around. I'm scared to call you, can't calm you down. No, be better than nobody else. It's hopeless confiding. Your love kills me every time. Stupid addicted to you. To you, I just can't get enough of you. Baby, can't get enough of you. No, be better than nobody else. It's hopeless confiding. Your love kills me every time. I'm stupid addicted to you. To you, I just can't get enough of you. Oh, I can't get enough of you, baby. I can't get enough of you. Oh, you know, baby, I just can't get enough of your love. Oh, I can't get enough of you. I'm stupid addicted to you. Oh, I'm stupid addicted to you. Oh.
When I'm broken down and lying in bed, you lie beside me through it all. If I shut you out when you let me in, you wouldn't tell me I was wrong. I wanna be the one to say I love you more. Wanna take you somewhere we could just let go. Baby, 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 we could drive away. I wanna be the one to give you everything. Wanna take all the fears and cares away. Baby, 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 you and I could be free. Want you in my arms, want to take you far. Open your eyes with me and we could be free. see we could make it anywhere, anywhere, baby. I wanna be the one to say I love you more. Wanna take you somewhere we could just let go. Free, baby, baby, we could travel away. Free, be the one to give you everything. Wanna take all the fears and cares away. Baby, 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 you and I could be free.
Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Save us from losing our souls. Save the world. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Together we can save the world. Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls.
It's
Uh,
probably. Oh, you go first.
all right. Panthers Crusaders. We saw Crusaders last week popping off. Mako last week had a nasty performance on the Senna. I'm excited to see what he can do this week again. And these two teams pretty close in the standings. So it should be a pretty good matchup for these guys. And I'm excited to see what they can do today.
Yeah, for sure. Not only a close matchup, but also a pretty important matchup because I imagine this would affect the standings pretty heavily. I think it's whoever is slightly lower on the standings would actually be able to tie it up with this match. I'm pretty sure. So that would be very, very exciting to see.
All right, so we're right into this draft. Panthers on the blue side, Crusaders on the red. As we were talking about earlier, should be a pretty good matchup. Crusaders, one game right behind the Panthers, so this is a must-win for the Crusaders if they want to, solidify themselves a little bit higher in the seeding for the playoffs picture. But going into this, we already see that Senna band away from Mako, and on the other side, Crusaders not wanting to see the Hecarim or the Seraphine over there on the red side.
So something I want to point out is I actually don't think Senna is a really good pick right now. Senna got pretty hard with this last patch. In 11.5, they nerfed the Ginsus, and on top of that, also made Senna not able to get over 100% crit chance, which is what made the Kraken Slayer build and Ginsu so good, was because you could get over 100% crit chance and you would scale infinitely, essentially, with the Ginsus, but now that's not really possible. So you don't shred as much as you could before. So I don't think Senna is nearly as prio as before. I'd imagine she'd even start falling out of the meta, and I think there's a lot more ADCs that would be more dangerous than her. I think Kaisa is really strong right now. I've seen Caitlyn coming back. Jinx is really strong right now as well. Jinx and Ophelia's are two big ones for late game scaling now. So yeah.
Yeah, that Jinx getting those big buffs a few patches ago on the E and then her Q as well, getting some extra range on that really did her pretty good down there in the bot lane. We've even been seeing her picked up in pro play and things like that. First few picks here, Sugar Daddy Draven locking in that Morgana down there for Nairo. Solkar and Softworm picking up the Jarvan and Lulu combo for Tainted Red down there in the bot lane. So using this Lulu pick up, maybe sending Mako towards this one of these more hyper carry picks, but the Caitlyn and Gratis just locked that in for Woven Alchemist down there in the bot lane. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I had said before, Caitlyn is slowly inching her way back into the meta. She was not getting any favors when the season started because the new items did not really synergize very well with Caitlyn compared to a lot of the other ADCs. However, now that everything's becoming a little more equalized in terms of power, and of course being paired with Morgana in the bot lane, that lane is just really, really hard to do anything against. And when you've already drafted Lulu, assuming you're not trying to flex a top or mid, if you're trying to do something a little weird, a little off meta, the Caitlyn Morgana should just straight up win the lane no matter which ADC is picked now.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Kate Morg, the most annoying bot lane to play against, in my opinion. You really can't do anything, especially if you go for some of these engage supports. But Lulu picked up here alongside the Kaisa now for Mako down there in the bot lane. Mako, their pop-off carry, their hyper carry player. This guy is always looking to pop off, make these highlight plays for his team. Their main carry, their main damage source. I remember I believe it was an interview he had over the weekend on the Legends podcast. He said something about his team really allows him to play that way, right? So humble Mako down there in the bot lane, not wanting to take all the credit, but I do believe this guy down there is an absolute carry for his team. So really excited what he can do on this Kaisa pick. It should be a really good pick for the side of the Crusaders. Now bending away to some top laners here are the Panthers as well as the Malzahar. Defoe loves to play some more of these, control heavy mid laners here, so I can see why they went for that Malzahar ban. He has been playing it a bit in solo queue. It is one of his most played, so interested to see that takeaway from him. They don't want to see Defoe on that Malzahar. Honestly, I think it's a pretty annoying pick to play against as well. Maybe looking to use that new Bizahar skin that just came out. Pull it out here for the first game of the day for the LA's draft. But I'm hyped, Shogun. This is going to be a pretty
Yeah.
important match for the Crusaders, so I really want to see what these guys can do to bring it in here and just put in some work on these picks.
So, I'm actually real quick with the Anivia ban. I think that means more than anything for the Crusaders that they are looking to go Orianna here. So the Panthers ban away Veigar, and looking at the comp for the Panthers, I think Orianna, if they do like their control mages on Defoe, then I think that's easily the best pickup that you can have. You have ball delivery with the Wukong, pretty big wombo combo there, and you can pick up some either a little bit more damage in the jungle, or you can have another form of engage, and you can have a really strong team comp. But Crusaders, instead of either banning or picking away the Orianna, go ahead and lock in Set, which I can only really see him go top lane. I suppose he could go mid as well. So it's an interesting matchup for sure. Okay, well, if that's what they end up locking in for the top lane, I am intrigued at the very least. Especially if that would be Gnar Orianna. I would really like to see that, because that's a pretty strong comp.
Yeah, this Wukong looking like it's probably going to be flex to the jungle here for the Panthers, so Ingratus wanting to play on that champion. We've seen some nasty Wukong performances in the past few weeks. I remember last week, my man just kept popping off in the second game of the day. Can't completely remember who it was, but I just remember a pop-off Wukong, and I want to see it again, so I'm always excited to see Wukong, I guess, in LA's draft. It has been a nasty pick for these teams, so in their scrims they're probably pulling it out and have high priority on it. But it's looking like a brand here for Panthers, so Defoe pushed down onto the brand, one of his lower picks here. They got a lot of his champions banned away, so I can see why they kind of forced him onto this pick here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can see picking Brand in this situation. It is a little strange to me that they don't end up going for Orianna, which probably means that as a mid laner, he doesn't play the champion, because that's easily the best pick here. I don't think Brand is as good. I think you definitely want Orianna for your team comp. Which, it's okay that you don't play Orianna, but that's definitely a pick I highly recommend any mid laners who want to play competitively to pick up, because it's like almost always in the meta. You can almost always make that champion work. And she's relatively simple to get a hang of. Like, to pick her up is pretty easy. To master her is a little bit more difficult than some of the others. But if he can make this brand work, then I guess it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, just another one of his cover picks down here, get pushed down onto it, and Victor on the other side though, so not going to be the most volatile matchup there in the mid lane. That doesn't mean we might not see some action, so hopefully on the Victor, Ezio will start to pop off and do some work as he has before for this team here. And I think some of these jungle bans that came out very early on in the draft are pretty interesting. Nobody wanted to see the Hecarim champion, absolutely disgusting still, not getting any real nerfs until the next patch, so I can see why it was taken away very early on. Not to mention Ingratus likes to play more of these carry-oriented junglers, while Softworm usually tends to go for some of these tanks here to support his team and things like that, so he does pick up the Jarvan for himself, and I think there's a decent amount of wombo here on the side of Crusaders. You have a pretty decent amount of engage between the Jarvan and Set there. Not to mention you have a Lulu just to defend your Kai'Sa in the backline. And then you just layer it on top of these two hyper carries in between Victor and Kai'Sa. So while these guys, might be losing a little bit in the early stages of the game just due to the nature of the lanes on the other side, I think they can do a lot of work come later stages into these team fight situations. So excited to see what they can do on these picks.
Yeah, for sure. And I think something important to notice is that the Panthers actually have all winning lanes, I'd say. I'm pretty sure Gnar should just straight up beat Set. Brand should win against Victor early. And then Caitlyn Morgana, like I said before, just wins most lanes, if not all of them. And this one's really no exception. In terms of which lane should have prio, like, obviously when it comes down to actually getting into the game, they have to execute their champions properly. They have to play the lane correctly. or else things can get out of hand for sure. But that being said, Jarvan's going to have a bit of a harder time being able to exist in the jungle if Wukong is able to actually, notice that, hey, his lanes are pushing in, which means he's allowed to have a bit more mobility around the map and do a lot more, whereas Jarvan, because he has so many losing lanes, is a lot more constricted. That all being said as well, is usually what we end up seeing in in lower elos is that if you have a winning lane, you'll push up, and against a Jarvan, if you don't manipulate your wave properly and you just kind of aimlessly shove the wave under tower, it can set you up for failure and can put you in a really, really bad position for a gank from the Jarvan, which would be really unfortunate to see. And I imagine we'd see that at least once, unless Panthers play this really, really well.
Yeah, I agree with you completely there. Jarvan, one of those very good early ganking junglers. You can even do cheese level 2 ganks. That's what I love to do on the champion. Just start E, go into Q, and then run the top lane to get a kill. So we'll see if he tries to do that this game. But something interesting that I see here for the Crusaders that I didn't notice earlier is the amount of gank setup that they have, right? Usually you want to play Jarvan with something that has a little bit of CC that can really set it up. And really the only lane that can do that is Set. Yeah, you have the Victor W in the mid lane and try and help him out. But I don't think there's a world where Brand just doesn't flash away or doesn't just walk out of the Victor W to try and set him up. But we'll see what Soft Worm can do on this pick. He is pretty comfortable on the champion, so I definitely want to see what he can do on that. And overall, I think both teams got picks that they were fairly comfortable with here. Defoe on the Brand, and Ezio and Mako picking up those 2 hyper carries for the side of the Crusaders in that Victor and Kaisa. So it should be a pretty good matchup here. A lot of setup on both teams. Panthers, as we were talking about earlier, are going to have a lot of early priority and be able to shove in these lanes, get some early plays most likely, and it should give Ingratus a decent amount of leeway around the map to get some of these early dragons and Rift Heralds here. We'll see how Softworm can react to that though. It can be a little bit more difficult to play from that situation where your lanes are just playing at a back foot in a back spot there. So we'll see what you can do with that, and I think Softworm has been a pretty good jungler for his team. He's definitely the more setup-oriented jungler where he likes to play a more supportive role. It doesn't really go for these hard pop-off carry junglers as we've seen in the last few weeks, but Mako is definitely the player to watch for the Crusaders. This man, rarely makes mistakes for his team and is quite hard to shut down. Last week, he did not die once on that Senna pick, so we'll see if he can go deathless again on the Kaisa this week, and I think Tainted Red on that Lulu will do a pretty good job at keeping Mako alive. Just so much utility on that champion. Honestly, I really hate playing against Lulu. Polymorph and Overgrowth just are the two most annoying abilities to play against, because you go in as a tank support, or even like let's say Wukong here, you're just gonna get completely shut down by that Lulu. So gonna see if Tainted Red can have the fast fingers to polymorph that Wukong out of the fight, or even the Gnar here. And really interested to see what these two teams are gonna do, because this is a very important match, right? One game separating these two. Crusaders have the chance to have the equal head-to-head here against the Panthers, so it should be a pretty interesting game here with a lot of weight behind it.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely agree with what you're saying about the Lulu. I think Lulu is very annoying to deal with once you get out of lane, especially for champions like Wukong, like are going to have a very hard time of doing anything. That being said, I do think that Caitlyn and Morgana alone have a pretty decent time with Kaisa Lulu, and they're going to be much more annoyed with having to deal with that lane. It's definitely not a fun time. If you get hit by one binding, you just get absolutely exploded.
Yeah, Dark Binding into Caitlyn Trap, definitely a recipe for disaster if you're on the side of the Crusaders. A few more seconds here until we get into the game. So as we're loading up into the load screen, we're going to go on a quick break until we're all loaded up, all synced up, and we'll be right back in a few more seconds here until we get back, and we'll see you in a few seconds.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, welcome to the LAS Draft Week 8. It is the Panthers versus the Crusaders. Great matchup for the day. Great matchup to start it off. And it's going to be a good one because these two teams looking to take the head-to-head over each other. Crusaders here looking to tie themselves up in the standings. And the side of the Panthers really looking to keep their positioning and keep themselves ahead. So this should be a pretty good matchup.
So I really like this invade pathing. So what a lot of teams will do is they'll go through Tribush or they'll go right to Pixel Brush. This is how you punish someone 5-pointing, which I think it's also really heads up from Kaisa to be not sitting in the closer bush. And they're just essentially waiting for someone. They wouldn't be able to see anyone like actually go into that bush to their right. So this is definitely interesting. Excited to see what'll happen. I guess they will commit to this late invade, and this could be really bad for Kaisa, who now sees them and has to walk all the way around. Now there are 5 people. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it could have been really bad. They spotted out though. Luckily, they are gonna maybe get some priority on this blue. It doesn't look like Ingratus wants to go for it. End up just backing away. Gonna go here towards this red buff, but definitely getting some priority there and pushing Jarvan off his blue buff, so we're gonna have to start over on the red. Good guy Soul Car over there coming down to help his jungler out. And yeah, again, Panthers versus the Crusaders. Panthers on the blue side over there, and then Crusaders over on the red. So it should be a good matchup. Sugar Daddy Draven up in the top lane and Gratis in the jungle. Defoe in the mid lane and Woven Alchemist and Nairo on the bot side. For the other side, we have Soulcar in the top lane for the Crusaders. Soft Worm in the jungle. Ezio Killer in the mid lane. Mako and Tainted Red down here in the bot lane for the Crusaders. Gonna be a good matchup. I am expecting a decent amount of volatility as we get into the team fight stage of this game. And overall, I already see Nairo down here taking a pretty bad trade.
Yeah, and so something that you gotta focus about or know about Morgana is you can walk up and you can look for a Q. However, if you walk up that close to a Kaisa and you use the only ability that is of any importance for a Kaisa to worry about, you give up all the pressure that you have, and if you miss your Q, you pose no threat, and that Kaisa, playing very smart, Mako playing very well, and knows exactly what he can do. He says, oh, you missed your Q? Well, I'm just going to walk up and Q you, and Caitlyn, or you can't really do anything about it, but if you get hit with the Q, it becomes a little harder to do something because Caitlyn's just going to place her trap right under, as we just saw there, and gets a really good trade for herself.
Ooh, Ezio Killer getting locked up here by this brand Q, just gets stunned up, has to run away. Getting real low here. A lot of damage coming out from Defoe very early on. Nobody's coming over to help Ezio Killer just yet. He's burning down. He's getting real low. One more kill will do it. Oh, he flashes away barely. But the rest of his team has moved up. They have a lot of priority down in this bot lane. That's what we were talking about earlier. Now this fight's gonna keep going on. And Gratis on the backside of that. Soft Worm is trying to get away. The flash will do to get him over the wall. Flash for Defoe over the wall. Gets first blood. That's money in his pocket. 400 gold right where the brand wanted it. Mako barely dodging away from that Q. Solid early rotations here from the Panthers, man.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have the Caitlyn Morgana lane. You're obviously going to get prio very easily, and it forces the Crusaders to choose, right? Do I want to sack this wave, or do I go and help my laner? And generally, the idea that everyone's gonna make in that situation, especially if you see it in solo queue, is usually they'll go ahead and just they say, oh, these minions are crashing under my tower, I have to take these or else I'm losing gold. However, it's always going to be more worth it to go up and help your teammate so that you're not giving up, especially if it's first blood. You don't want to give up 400 gold for missing what's essentially like maybe somewhere between like 70 and 100 gold, especially depending on how many minions. I suppose if it's, you know, a double like a double stacked wave with cannon, it's a little more risky to go ahead and leave that, but the cannon will soak up a lot of damage, so you won't lose too much out of that. So for everyone out there, if you have a wave crash, hold on a second. Hold that thought.
Worm getting stunned up here by the brand. Q gets hit by the W as well. Sugar Daddy Draven jumping in on the Gnar, and Defoe picks up a second one. This brand, perma roaming, has only 11 CS, but so far it's been working out for him. Defoe definitely getting on the map early on, starting that ignite, getting some early pressure for his team, and overall, just the mid jungle duo here for the Panthers have just been playing all around the map and making early plays, which has got them a solid 500 gold lead.
Yeah, for sure, and it's really all thanks to Brand manipulating the wave correctly. That shouldn't turn into a kill or anything. But yeah, Brand managing to, you know, just shove in the wave and being allowed to roam out, is Victor can't really clear as fast as the Brand can, especially if Brand hits all the minions with his W. Oh, Gnar going for a fight.
Gnar looking for this, gets that QW down. That big wall up on the Gnar does a lot of damage. Early on, they buffed it so that it has a lower cooldown. Usually you can get 2 of those before the Mega Gnar runs out. Solkar now getting ran down by the Hyper here with Gnar. So we'll see if we can get a stun. Doesn't it hit it, gets missed, and now Sugar Daddy Draven gets a pretty good trade up there against Solkar. So again, priority all over the map here for the Panthers. They're doing a great job just controlling these lanes, and it's allowing this Wukong to just roam around the map, take the Scuttle Crabs here. And so far, he's down quite a bit in CS, but overall, he has done more for his team so far. Has those 2 assists in his belt. And again, this Gnar is wailing on Solkar up here in the top lane.
Yeah, that bait and switch from the Panthers was really good, picking the Wukong with the B3 pick, and then the set coming out as the 4th pick, thinking that the only place Wukong can go is top, so we're gonna pick the set into it, and then of course Panthers picking the Gnar instead.
Sugar Daddy Draven looking for a here, gets the wall up against the wall. Now the Gnar is gonna come down. Sugar Daddy Draven getting real low, throws a Q, but it misses. That's a 1-for-1 flash. Oh my god, that was by the skin of his teeth. Solkar lives that, but Sugar Daddy Draven looking for the real aggressive play. Almost has it, but just barely out of reach up there in that top lane. Now, probably going to have to TP back to his lane as he did push it in. But it looks like his wave should be in a pretty fine spot here. Nobody has gone for this dragon just yet. Still only 7 minutes into the game. Defoe handily getting a pretty good bounty there. Has 150 gold on his bounty on his head. So, again, here we see Ingratus and Defoe just looking for another thing here. Ezio Killer just going to go down again. Defoe is on fire this game. Take it as you will. That may have been a pun or not because he's playing Brand, but this man is definitely putting in the work, definitely getting around the map, and he has a 3-0 score line for his team.
Jarvan might be in some trouble. Actually, he won't be caught. I didn't realize that I was looking at red there. Jarvan's in his own jungle. Wukong was the one being a little aggressive there, and I gotta say, the Wukong and the Brand duo are just wreaking havoc this game, going to pretty much every single lane, I think, at this point. Not sure. They were near bot lane when they got one of their kills, and the fact that both of them are able to just walk everywhere on this map is absolutely huge for the side of the Panthers, and there's not much Crusaders can do about it besides just... it's hard to say because like them roaming back is very difficult for them to do. Victor has a hard time of clearing the wave compared to Brand, and I think at the end of the day, what Victor needs to do is something that I was like mentioning that bot lane should have also done a little earlier, is just, you know, sack his wave and try to follow the Brand. But he needed to do that earlier, because right now I'm pretty sure Brand kind of just kills him if he even thinks about walking away from the lane and gets into the river after Brand, especially if Brand you know, tries to trick him and then doubles back.
Yeah, definitely can do a lot of work with that. But Nairo down here has not been able to do much with those Dark Bindings, but so far Nairo is getting low as well. Ignite comes down onto him. Mago picks up the first one. That's going to be the first kill coming down. That's a 2v2 kill down in the bot lane. Wolven Alchemist having to flash away in the end of that. Solid play out of the bot lane from the Crusaders here to try to make something happen. Softworm now EQing over the wall, uses that flag and drag to try and do something, but nothing's really going to be able to happen. Uses that Cataclysm to go over the wall, over onto Defoe here. Not going to mean the most here, but that's a TP coming in from the top side. Sugar Daddy Draven's here to stay. The Cyclone comes down. That's 3 members hit up here. That's the Panthers making a lot of work happen. Mako goes down the first one, and Grada's looking for more. There's a Q coming out from Sugar Daddy Draven to find a kill. This is going to be a dive happening in the end of the day. Nobody's really going up. Somebody take the thing besides Gnar. Softworm is going to go down in the end, but Gradas is going to get one back. He does get the death back, and Softworm picks it back for himself. But overall, that's a 3 for 0 or 3 for 1 over there on the bot side for the side of the Panthers. That was just an amazing play overall.
Yeah, really good play from the Panthers. However, I do have a complaint from the set. Set doesn't TP as soon as you see Gnar TPing in. If you TP as well right after that, you can actually get something done there. I don't know exactly where Set was that entire time. I also don't know why he wasn't able to necessarily stop the teleport either. Gnar probably back or was teleporting in a bush or something, and that's excusable. But if you see the teleport coming through, you need to be able to respond to that, because that's why that play goes so well. Is because Set isn't there. Set has teleport available. He can answer that. And they were all very, very low. There probably could have been a really good play, a lot of gold that he could have picked up, but instead he elects to shove his wave under tower and gets a plate, and that's not nearly enough to make up for what they lost in the bot lane.
Yeah, not even close, man. 150 gold to about the 500 that they, or 600 that they lost down there on the bot side. Not going to be worth it at all. And again, it all comes back down to what we were talking about earlier, the priority in these lanes. You have so much push in the mid lane, so much push in the spot lane, that you're able to look for a lot of these plays. And although Crusaders found a kill down there on the bot side 2v2, it doesn't mean really anything at all. You know, we saw the rotation down from the jungle, and then we saw Sugar Daddy Draven TPing in just to completely counter and dissuade the side of the Crusaders from making any other play at all. And while that was all happening, Gradas was just taking the dragon earlier.
Oh my.
Because Ezio Killer is just getting blasted. That's Defoe on a killing spree, 4-0-2. This man is just destroying the Crusaders. The Panthers prowling on their prey, making it happen. And again, we see a fight down here on the bot side. That's going to be Lulu getting absolutely destroyed, and Defoe's here as well. This is looking like a quick wipe. 9-2 is the scoreline. 4,000 gold in the lead. 11 minutes into this game. Shogun, this game is just blowing up real fast.
Yeah, this game is not looking too hot, and I was actually thinking of commending how well the bot side has been playing. And, you know, to their credit, that play doesn't happen without Brand being 4-0-2 before coming down. Realistically, in terms of gold, he was probably only 3-0-2. But still, Kaisa and Lulu were playing so well, outplaying the Caitlyn Morgana lane, which is absolutely insane to me. But because Brand is so far ahead, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As your garbage is gonna get cleaned up there.
Yeah, it really just got clapped, if we're being honest there. Not able to do a whole lot there. Mako here trying to get some work done, but Dark Binding lands onto him. That's a Polymorph coming on top of the Overgrowth as well. That's 3 kills for the side of the Crusaders. So, you know, they're bleeding, but they're looking back here. Mako picks up 1, as well as the Lulu. Victor picking up the kill as well. So, a decent amount of gold back into the pockets of the Crusaders. They find those 3 kills. It's not going to be the most here. They are still quite a bit down in the gold, but it is something to stem the bleeding a little bit, right? You put a band-aid on the cuts, now you're putting on some Neosporin, trying to think of something else to do for that wound there. But overall, you still got injured, you're still down. You got to try to find your way back into this game. I think for the side of the Crusaders, they really just need to start looking for some more grouped plays, as they're really just been getting caught out here. SEO Killer has been caught twice now against Defoe, so maybe we need to see a little bit more of Jarvan coming down to support him. And I understand he has been losing this jungle matchup here. As we're seeing now, use the flag and drag to get over the wall. But Softworm has not been able to do a lot this game. Just been getting bullied by the Wukong and the other laners. So quite a hard game to be playing jungle here, honestly.
Yeah, not a fun one for, I'd say, the Jarvan more so. Both of them had very weird starts, and then of course Jarvan being invaded. Once he died, it put him pretty far behind in terms of experience. And we have a pause, which is apparently the so the Brand is lagging, which is definitely not what you want. for the side of the Panthers. If your mid laner's lagging, you definitely need that man back. That is your gold lead. In its almost entirety, I'd say. I'd imagine at least. It's a pretty hefty gold lead in the mid lane. It's about a 1k gold lead that Brand has up on the Victor, which it's about a 2k gold lead. So yeah, that is half their gold or their gold advantage on the Brand. So yeah, definitely gonna want him back. And I gotta commend his performance because I was a little iffy on the Brand to begin with. Wanted the Orianna, but I guess a win lane, win game is the name. Is the name of the game for them this or for today, I suppose. I mean, Brand just absolutely demolishing the entire map at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Panthers definitely, as you just said, going for the win lane win game strategy. It has been working out for them so far. The CS on the other side isn't looking the worst, but it could definitely be a lot better. Uh, and we see Defoe probably going here for Leandra's Anguish. So the game will be unpaused. We're back into it. We'll see who decides to pull the trigger on these objectives coming up soon. Dragon is up in a couple more seconds. And while that was all happening, Gratis picks up the Rift Herald on the top side. Not going to be able to get any more plates because it just fell right now, but was able to do a little bit there on getting the Rift Herald. So probably going to be able to use it on one of these lanes and just use it to get some pressure on this Dragon. Start stacking those up and start feeling even better because 2k golden leads feeling pretty good here at 14 minutes, but it's in no way saying that Crusaders are out of this game. Definitely still have a lot of fight left in them, and overall, their composition definitely favors the 5v5 as more than these being in these side lanes here. So we'll see what they can do here around this Dragon. Doesn't look like anybody's really going to go for it just yet. The Panthers do have quite a bit of pressure around it, so we'll see what they can do. Ezio Killer staying there for the E, does not respect the Wukong at all. Cyclone comes down. Defoe, that's a double flash over the wall to try and find him. Ezio Killer goes down again. Oh man, I think it was just disrespect there, not wanting to flash very early on as soon as you see the Wukong running after you.
Yeah, for sure. And he does eventually flash. He flashes over the wall and figures like this is my best form of escape. But they end up spending both of their flashes to go ahead and follow up after him. I don't think that was necessary. I think you only need one. So at the end of the day, that's actually not as bad as it could have been. Yes, you died. You never want to give up a kill at all. But hey, if they're gonna spend 2 flashes getting it, especially when it's one of the flashes on Brand, who really shouldn't be flashing for anyone, and should be using that to get away should the Jarvan or Set manage to get on top of him. I actually think that's a decent consolation prize, if you will, for the side of the Crusaders.
Yeah, you're going to be feeling pretty good getting that flash there for themselves. But Defoe, playing the absolute Chad that he is this game, does have the Leander's Anguish and decides to use that flash aggressively. I always like to see if aggressive flashes there. Just do a lot in my head as you're being the aggressive player, you're being the aggressor instead of reacting to the play. So Defoe, not going to be in the worst. He is still quite ahead. I don't know if they can burst him out. That's going to be Ingrata's getting away in the end there, so pretty good out of him. Does pick up the Eclipse now. Wukong with Eclipse is going to be doing quite a bit of damage against these squishies here. So we'll see what he can do. The Cyclone has been quite useful for the side of the Panthers at finding some of these plays. But on the bot side here, we're seeing a sneaky little play out of the bot lane. Crusaders are looking for this. They're going on to the Caitlyn immediately. Woven Alchemist having to get away. The ult has not come down from Mako. Now he goes over the wall, uses that killer instinct to go flash onto Woven Alchemist. But Tainted Red is trying to stay alive, uses the shield on himself. Woven Alchemist, that's one. That's a big shutdown into the pockets of the Kaisa, Mako, and Tainted Red. Looking for the play here, and they find it. So overall, solid play again out of the bot lane of the Crusaders to find that kill. But now they might be looking to respond with Ingratus here on the bot side. They have called him over, and we'll see if they decide to make a play happen. He's hovering here in the wings while 3 members of the Crusaders are on the top side. Oh, yep, and it looks like Ingratus is going in, uses the hit Cyclone now to knock up both members of the bot lane of the Crusaders. Mako gonna get blasted there. Clip's doing tons of work. Tainted Red trying to stay alive, use the shield on himself, use the Q, trying to just get away. Polymorph and the Overgrowth used to keep himself alive at the end, but overall, that's going to be a positive play down there for the side of the Panthers, and they find one back after their ADC just died under tower, or under that bot lane's pressure.
So a couple things. I really hope Lulu didn't have ult available until she used it. Otherwise, she kind of just let her ADC die. Another thing is Lulu is getting dove. So
Defoe just getting a Dark Harvest deck, but Ezio Killer, oh, that's a lot of damage coming out from him. He has the Luden's Echo or the Luden's Tempest now, but he is in a 1v4 situation. He's not going to be able to survive this at all. Gets blasted under his own tower. Solkar on the top side as well. The Panthers are just winning every lane, winning out in every state of the map. That's going to be Sugar Daddy Draven picking up a solo kill up there in the top lane. Going to be pretty good out of him. This is just the Panthers just starting to run away with the map.
absolutely, and like I said, it was they had on paper all winning lanes, and with the exception of bot lane not having the CS lead that they really that they should have. Other than that, it's definitely looking like everybody else hard on their lane, considering Gnar is up about 45 CS. He's 2-0-3 on the set. Just solo killed the set too, by the way. And of course, Brand being 7-1-2, which isn't because he solo killed his laner, but he tempo his mid laner, which is a result of him, having a winning matchup and being able to shove for free. And hold on, there's another fight in the top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be Solkar looking for revenge onto this little Gnar, but he's just getting completely kited. This mini Gnar is doing tons of work for the side of the Panthers. Able to just out-pressure the set completely. This set has not been able to get in any of these fights. Has not been able to match this Gnar at all. And so far, it's looking like the top lane has been completely shut down from the side of the Crusaders. We did not see this last week from them. Last week, it was actually their top laner getting their advantage for them. So Solkar really gonna have to start looking for something here around these objectives. I would say just sack the top lane completely. You gotta start just trying to make a play, because if you let this gold lead balloon anymore, you're gonna be looking at 2-item deficits on some of these carries, and it could be really hard to come out of a deficit like that. And hold that, because Soft Worm is going in, uses his ultimate onto the Woven Alchemist. That's going to be a hold coming down. Defoe is getting knocked back into his team. That's going to be a haymaker onto nobody. Nairo is in the backside trying to stay alive, but that's going to be Ezio Killer going down as well. That's a double kill now for the Brand. Defoe is finding two Ezio Killers, now getting run down by Ingratus, trying to stay alive. This guy is not going to be able to do it. Sugar Daddy Draven is going in as well. Mini Gnar is just running him down. Defoe looking for something here too as well. Haymaker comes out. It's not going to be the most. Can he find one back? Not going to find it at all. Does not even have an item completed set. Just gets ran down by the mid-top duo of the Panthers.
Yeah, that mid-top duo is also pretty scary. It's mainly just the mid laner I'd be terrified of, trying to get onto the Brand. They did their best to try to lock down Brand, but instead of who I believe got ulted into the rest of the team fight was the Morgana, who ended up popping stopwatch shortly after. And the only person I think anybody needs to care about in this fight is Brand. Yes, the Wukong is going to do a ton of damage to you, but Lulu and Kaisa, once they have all their resources up, like if they have both ultimates up, once they have flash and heal. Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, Mako getting ran down, but Nairo has not been able to stay alive at all. Tainted red, and Mako just blow up that little Morgana, not able to stay alive at all. Not tanky, does not have any defensive stats. An Imperial Mandate not going to do much for her at all, but it's not going to mean the most. They pick up the dragon anyway. Solkar just trying to stay alive on this top lane. This is a free lane for this Gnar now. 2 levels up, 300 gold bounty on his head, almost about an item and a half on top of this Gnar here. But did Sugar Daddy Draven push up too far? Uses that Stride Breaker to get a little bit of a dash ahead. Softworm trying to just do something here, but he can't really find anything at all in a 1v3. And Sugar Daddy Draven is not afraid to really push up at all. Hold that, because Marco's going down to the foe. That's going to be a big shutdown. That's 1,000 gold into the pockets of the Kaisa. It's going to mean the most on that carry. Mako is their star player. He's got to find a way to carry this game, and Gratis now looking for 2 on the top side here, and he's a Cyclone to knock them up. Cataclysm comes down. They're trying to find that AoE damage that they need, but it's not going to be known. So that's a shutdown going onto the back, onto the mid laner of Ezio Killer, but here is Mako and Tainted Red. They're going to be looking for this. They need to find something, but Sugar Daddy Draven, knowing his limits, knowing he can't push anymore, jumps away and stays alive. But that is going to be 2 kills, 2 big shutdowns going into the favor of the Crusaders. And it's not going to mean the most, but it is something back in their pockets. Have closed that gold lead a little bit. Still 5,000 gold down, but they are looking a little bit better and still having a fighting chance in this game.
Yeah, and that what really seals it for me that they actually have a chance to win is the Kaisa being able to pick up that shutdown gold. And if those two can 2v, if the Kaisa Lulu can 2v1 the brand, that's actually really, really good. It means that while he's super fed and team fights are going to be a little iffy, it does mean that he is killable if they're able to just absolutely kit dump him. However, he has picked up the stopwatch, so that's going to be very helpful for him in surviving, especially in these team fights. I think he's honestly kind of unkillable. Oh no, oh Lulu.
Oh, Lulu getting burned down with the Leander's Death Cap combo there. Defoe is so ahead in that mid lane. Tainted Red gonna be able to stay alive with those shields. Lulu notorious for having that 5-second cooldown on her shield at max rank, so not gonna mean the most there. Defoe tries to find it. Overall gets that pressure and gets that health bar there on Tainted Red real low. Mako going a little bit aggressive onto the Wukong here, but Gratis is very far ahead. He's still very strong. You cannot just disrespect him and ignore him. Gratis looking for the Q. He did not find it. One more auto would have done it, but Mako finds one back onto him. Ezio Killer goes down on the back side of that, but Defoe and his team here are able to do a lot of damage against his Victor. 2-7 is his scoreline. Not having the best time in this game. Not able to do the most so far, and overall he is farming well, but it is just not the same amount of pressure he's able to put out on this Victor here. But again, Victor is one of these scaling champions, so we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. None of the members here on the side of the Panthers are tanky, so Sugar Daddy Draven needs to hurry up and get here, or else his team is going to die. They do finally show up, and his team is going to be able to stay alive. This might be a snuck away Baron coming out here from the Panthers. It is at 2k health. One more Q. Can he find this? Oh, soft worm, this is it! Oh, he cannot find it. Goes in at 200 health, but does not find anything. Cataclysm comes down. They're going to be looking for the fight afterwards, so they cannot get the Baron, but they're looking for the fight. They're looking for the turn. Solar Card is now going into the back line. Use that ultimate. Find an ultimate. That's going to be one going down. Shutdown goes down onto the hands of the set. Sugar Daddy Draven looking for more, but he's going to be able to get away in the end there. Solkar makes a hero play for his team. They shut down 2. And that's going to be them finding the back play out of it. They don't get the Baron. They don't get much, but it is more gold into the pockets of these carries. And that's going to be pretty good going into the 25-minute mark here.
Yeah, the Panthers still get Baron. They still manage to secure that objective, and they still have it on a couple of their members. They have it on Gnar, who they definitely want it on. I want to say they have it on Wukong. I don't think Caitlyn got it. No, Caitlyn did get it. Caitlyn survived. So I think the 3 members that we just saw alive at the moment do in fact have Baron, which is still pretty strong for Panthers. It's still a win for them, but Crusaders aren't just giving up Baron for nothing at the end of the day. They did get another kill onto the brand. I don't know if that was another bounty, but someone that they do want to try to kill is the Gnar, and the only issue with that is that it's a pretty tall task. That being said, if there's anyone that you want on your team against the Gnar, it is the Kaisa.
Yeah, definitely that tank buster in the Kaisa. Not to mention that this Wukong is not really tanky at all. Has opted in for a more damage-heavy build. Is quite far ahead, but might be seeing some action here. Just a lot of posturing around this dragon. This is going to be it. Mega Gnar comes out. That's a big Gnar to the wall. 2 come out. Cyclone onto the back line of 2. Mako trying to stay alive. But that's going to be Ingratus just blowing him up. There goes all your damage. There goes your carry. There goes Mako. Solarcar on the back side of that trying to stay alive. Solarcar not able to do that at all. Woven Alchemist picks up 1 on the back side of that. Sugar Daddy Draven as well. That's going to be 3 members going down for the side of the Crusaders. And the Panthers have hunted their prey. They've stalked them. They've ran them down since the early game. And they're making this happen. That's going to be Infernal Soul in their back pocket. They're going to be wearing red and purple, running it down, and probably going to be able to look for the end in this game. If they can't find it, at least take down some inhibitors.
Yeah, that is definitely their plan. I don't think they can end quite yet. Definitely going to look for some inhibitors right after this. They're pushing each lane. They're going to at least get a tower, but Kaisa and Lulu are almost back onto the map. So we'll see if they can form a defense. They should be able to actually manage to guard these inhibitor towers. That bot lane tower, of course, going to go down. We'll see. I don't think Kaisa can really approach the Gnar. However, they do have a good setup right now where, we have about 3 people headed down towards the Gnar, which is not... I was going to say wasn't the greatest idea because they had people pushing topside, but they actually... Okay, no. Wukong is in fact going to keep pushing. I really like that decision as long as Gnar goes bot, but if he doesn't, then Wukong can get collapsed upon, which is a little worrying.
Yeah, Wukong able to get away in the end there, but
no.
Ezio Killer in a bad spot so here. Cyclone comes out. Ezio Killer Baron able to stay alive. The shield's not going to do anything for him at all. Not able to stay alive in that situation, and Grada's just picking him out, finding him in the end there. And Nar TPing in here, just gonna come out here trying to find some pressure on the map. And I think this has just been really smart play out of the Panthers throughout this game. They definitely did their homework. Picking these winning lanes around the map. Softworm now possibly getting caught up here, but that's
Oh
gonna
my.
be on to take the red, gets blown up. Defoe just does too much damage alongside the rest of his team. Imperial Mandate doing its work there, able to get that extra damage once he was CC'd, once he was locked up. Tainted Red not able to stay alive. And overall, though, as I was just saying, the Panthers definitely did their homework. They found their winning condition. They knew how to shut down the Crusaders. They said, we're going to pick 3 winning lanes. We're going to shut down Mako. We don't want this guy to get to the late game. And although he's picked up some kills around the map in some of these fights, they haven't been able to find the fight they want. But here they might find it. Solkar goes into the back line. Use that showstopper to find 2. Not going to be the most yet. Haymaker comes out. Not a whole lot of damage going to be done just yet. But that's Mako on the backside trying to stay alive. No ultimate is up and available for him just yet. Cannot get into that Defoe. Defoe getting real low here. Locked up by Soft Worm. That's going to be a lot of damage coming down. And he picks up 1. Nara on the backside though. Sugar Daddy Draven trying to do his best. Trying to do his damage. The Q's going to come out. Not going to find him. Mako 10 HP goes down and burns from the brand. Oh man, this has just been a mid lane showdown, and Brand has gotten the best of it. This is going to be the Crusaders not able to find the fight they want. They look for it, but overall, the Panthers again just come out on top. They're just too far in the lead. 10,000 gold and an Infernal Soul in their pockets. It's going to be very hard to try and stay alive, and they might even look for the end here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely seems like that is their plan, and I don't know if I would have called this a mid lane showdown as much as I would have called it a mid lane slaughter. This Brand, well, he has had 4 deaths here. He is using those deaths wisely. He's getting a lot of kills afterwards and making sure that his team is able to still get things even if he does go down. And of course, killing the Kaisa is the only thing that really matters to this Panther scene, because after Kaisa goes down, they can get at least something on the map, right? And, that being said, Gnar also putting in a lot of work. Everyone on Panthers putting in a lot of work this game. Everyone doing so much damage. Everyone getting so far ahead all game. And Crusaders not able to find anything but this Kaisa in the bot lane. That's the only one they've gotten ahead. And well, hold on a second. This might be the game-winning fight right here. Should they get engaged on?
Yeah, almost got engaged on there. Solkar trying to his best to frontline, but we just saw that set turn into butter. Just got completely melted there. Not able to do much against the damage sources on the enemy side. Overall, though, Cyclone just going to be used here just to knock up the enemy team. Not going to have that for the coming fight, but I don't really think it matters. There's just so much damage, so much team fight potential, but they could be looking for this Grada's kind of just messed up by using that Cyclone. That's going to be a shutdown. Going to the Kaiser. That's going to be Solkar in the back line. Use the showstopper. Cataclysm on top of that. Mako is untouched in the back line. This could be it. Double kill now for the Brand there on the backside. That Sugar Daddy Driver trying to do his best, but it's not going to be anything. That's going to be a triple kill for the Brand. Quadra for the Brand. Defoe is the mastermind. He pulled out the Brand pick. He made it happen. He won his lane, and now they're going to be able to win the game. Panthers looking to move themselves up, shut down the Crusaders, and they're going to end the game right here.
What a fight from them at the end, too. And I believe my client just crashed. I hope that happened for everyone else.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I imagine that's the game. I imagine that's the game being won for the side of the Panthers. And that ending fight was absolutely phenomenal. And while, Kaisa gets a huge pick onto the Brand, onto the Wukong, they weren't content with just taking that and leaving. That could have been it for now. They could have backed up and played a little bit slower, forced the Panthers to come to them, but instead they start going in, and they just cannot do that. They do not have the protection for Kaisa. They don't have the damage on anyone else besides Kaisa. So because Brand, Gnar, Caitlyn all have the damage that they need for this fight, they just absolutely wipe the Crusaders.
Yeah, man, and I was casting it right there, man. I thought they had turned it. I thought that was the game returning play, but Defoe and Sugar Daddy Draven at the end of it all found the ultimates that they needed, just blasted through the team fights. And credit to Woe, Alchemist, and Nairo for being in that back line, staying alive, just shielding and putting in those pot shots onto Caitlyn and Morgana. But overall, man, this Brand was definitely what made the Panthers come out so far ahead? We saw it from minute 2, minute 3, where he roamed out on the map, got that kill onto Soft Worm at the very early stage of the game. And once you got 400 gold in your back pocket, you're not as, in a vulnerable position as that brand. Yes, you still have lack mobility. Yes, you still are pretty squishy. But when you just have damage, man, that doesn't even matter. You can just blow people up. And we saw it this game. Defoe just popping off on this brand. And I'm glad to see here. I wanted to see a pop-off performance from the Panthers. I just wanted to see a good game overall, and I think we got it.
Yeah, we definitely seem to have gotten a pretty solid game here. I will say it was more one-sided at times than I would have liked. I think Brand getting super, super far ahead is what really won them the game. Yes, they also had Nar winning his lane, but I don't think this game is as clean. I don't think it's closed out as fast. Brand isn't as ahead as he was because they did still have to worry about the Kaisa, and Kaisa was a huge problem. No matter which way you cut it, Kaisa was realistically the only one pumping out damage on her team. She was the only one that could do anything about anybody else. Victor was actually doing more damage, and I think I'm giving him credit for it. Just didn't really feel like it in those fights. It didn't feel like he had as big of an impact, and that's partially also because he was just getting caught out so much, which was unfortunate. But yeah, Crusaders still playing a decent game at the end of the day. Their bot lane really keeping them in the game until, of course, things just kind of spiraled out of hand in the team fights. And in the team fights, if you have about 3 lanes or 2 lanes in jungle ahead, that's usually going to be the team that's going to be winning the fights.
Yeah, usually what you want as a jungler, one winning lane, one losing lane, one lane going even. This game, though, it was all lanes winning very early on. Woven Alchemist and Nairo getting a lot of push on that bot side. And although Bamako and Tainted Red found some creative plays to try and find themselves some gold, they were not able to, convert that into much at the end of the game. They tried their hardest. Mako doing the most damage on his team, but when you got 22,000 damage compared to the 31,000 on the brand, it's going to be quite hard to compete against that. Everybody in chat, though, make sure you vote for your player of the game. Go ahead and give it over to whoever you think deserves it. I think it's pretty obvious this game, though. Defoe definitely popping off. So go over there and chat. Make sure you exclamation point vote whichever person you think deserves it. So I don't know if we're gonna go into a break here. Maybe Salt can mention that to me in my ear. Okay, we're gonna head it off to break. Make sure you vote while we are in break, and when we come back, we're gonna break this game down a little bit more, and then we'll see you in a few for the next one.
Growing a lot of emotion, and I can't deny it. Without a single word spoken, without even trying.
dry all my tears, no. I'm not looking for someone to scare away the fears, no. I know it's not gonna happen. Don't believe in happy forever after. No one should have to feel this torn, or unable to speak with voices to soar. We could do better than this. We could do better than this. When you stand in the middle of the crowd, I wanna know it's me that you're missing. We could do better than this. We are much bigger than this. When you stand in the middle.
Just I think that game was just pretty obvious what happened there. Defoe making it happen, making the plays, and the rest of his team doing their best to support him. We just saw clean team play around the map, and I really think it just came down to how they drafted at the very early stages, securing themselves early Caitlyn Morgana and having a lot of prio around the bot side and around the other lanes as well. We saw Nar completely shut down that set up there in that top lane. So it was pretty much a 4v5 for a lot of the game until we finally saw Solkar come into some of these fights. But at the end of the day, Mako tried his best to pump out the damage on that Kai'Sa, but not a whole lot of frontline to keep him alive. And while the Lulu is back there trying to support him, it just wasn't enough. Right, all right. So, Flip or Salt couldn't have set it up any better for us here, Shogun. We got another playoff contention match here with a lot of weight behind it. Eagles versus the Wizards, a must-win for the Wizards. They want to secure that playoff position, and they need to do it here, or it could very well cost them the end of their season.
And I'm not entirely sure, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Eagles are just trying to play spoiler right now. I don't think they can actually secure a playoff spot at this point. I could be wrong about that if someone wants to check that for me. But while I'm waiting on that, we can go ahead and also just talk about this draft a little bit. And I think a pick that we're going to see banned away a good bit is the Seraphine. I think that is a really, really strong champion. It's one of those champs that needs to be banned if you are playing red side, because B1 Seraphine is one of the strongest flex picks right now, in my opinion. The ult that she has provides her with a lot of utility, and not only that, it's also just a really strong flex pick between mid and support.
Yeah, for sure. Seraphine, definitely that insane flex pick that we're seeing even in pro play. So Eagles are locked in for playoffs is what I'm seeing from our game chat over here on our league chat over there. But something to point out here is actually Wizards top laner is not Legend XX or Legend X, excuse me. It is going to be Piklay again subbing in this week as well from last week. He is going to be up there in that top lane for the Wizards. We already saw his Vladimir banned away, so definitely don't want to see him on that again. But again, another pick here to point out for me is I know these two guys, Oath and Piklay. They're coming over from the GRLCS over there, another league. They wanted some more competition over here in the Legends matchup here, so they are coming over from there. Oath, a big Yasuo player, or at least he was over there, so getting that band off the table as well. And Senna and Lucian are going to be the first two picks here for the side of these guys. The Eagles picking up Lucian, while the Wizards are picking up the Senna.
No. Oh, okay. I'm better.
All right.
I don't know how to feel about Senna's support. As long as he builds lethality, I think it's fine. I think that's an okay pick. Pairing it up with Jinx fills me with fear because you have no peel for that champion in the bot lane. And while you do have a lot of power to answer the Lucian, you have a lot of damage, assuming Lucian's even going in the bot lane, which I think Lucian is also just a strong mid lane pick as well. Picking Senna Jinx is super scary. If anyone ganks that lane, they should just die. If they get hooked, they should just die. They shouldn't have enough damage to even out-damage Lucian, I'd say. Lucian, if the Thresh is able to get a pick, assuming Lucian is in the bot side, he can have a really good time just doing a ton of damage. But they also just have to play smart and not take a lot of damage to begin with, which I believe in them to do. That is something that if you're playing a shorter range champion like Lucian, you need to understand your spacing. You need to make sure that you don't go into Jinx or Senna's auto attack range unless you are ready to trade as well.
Yeah, unless you're ready to, take that showdown, take that little brawl down there, it's not going to mean the most. But Juicy Chewy here picking up the Udyr for himself, so I'm excited to see that. I've been wanting to see the bear run in, slap some people since I started casting over here in Legends, and I finally get to see here Juicy Chewy picking it up for himself. Oath here is going to be picking up his champion next. We'll see what he ends up going for. It is going to be the Lilia, so Lilia into Udyr, a pretty interesting matchup in that jungle. Definitely going to be looking at power clear at the early stages, but overall I think it should be a pretty decent matchup. Both these champions like to go fast, like to go supersonic, and we'll see if they end up going for it. Udyr, disgusting champion. I hate it, but I love to see it. But it's just really fun when you see a bear running at you, but when you're in the game playing against it, it's the worst feeling when you get run down from 2,000 range away. So we'll see if Juicy Chewy can do something on that champion alongside the rest of his team here. Killua and Flip Trick going to be able to do a lot of work here with them. Though the Eagles lost last week, it doesn't mean the most for them. They are locked in that playoff picture. But Wizards, again, are looking for this win. It is a must-win for them. Ahri taking off the table for Killua there in the mid lane, so they do not want to see that Ahri pick. Cassidy on the other side, though, taken away from Oath. Oath definitely a player that likes more of these assassin-heavy champions.
Yeah, and the Cassidy would be interesting for this team. I think what they need, though, and at least top lane, and they can actually take this mid lane, I would like to see... I'm going to let the ban go through, but there's a specific mid laner that I want for the Wizards to take, and that's something with some peel. So right now, I think would be very good for them to either grab Galio for the mid lane, because you already have so much AP damage in Lilia, you have so much damage already, or you take a top laner who also has some peel, and you can blind, but I'd rather just them blind the Galio, because I feel like that's enough peel for what we're looking at right now. And they play Lux. Okay, so this is a very squishy team from the Wizards with no front line at the moment, and I'm really hoping that their top laner is something with some front line, but even then, one man cannot do it all. And the only way I feel like Wizards win this game is by getting absurdly ahead in the beginning, which with their champions should not happen unless the Eagles really poorly display.
Yeah, unless some miracles happen for them, they're not going to be able to do the most. Diana picked up here next, so Eagles going to see what they pick last. We'll see here in a few seconds. But again, that Lux, it's looking like a Spice Girls comp over there on the Wizard side. A lot of late over there. Darius being hovered here. We'll see if the Eagles lock it in. Hero is a Darius god, as I'm hearing from my boy Salt in the back of my ear, and it looks like they're going to be locking it in. It is going to be him on his signature champion. We'll see what he can do on that. I'm hoping he just pops off. Mordekaiser on the other side, though. That's going to be locked in. We got the beefy boys in the top lane. We're going to see some blood for sure up there. We'll see which jungler decides to, impact that matchup first, but definitely going to be a lot of action up there.
I'm hurting. Okay. So, the issue I have with this team is, yes, you have a tank. You have someone who's classified as a frontliner in Mordekaiser. But I just want to paint a picture for everybody say the Mordekaiser, we're in a team fight, everything, it's really close, and Mordekaiser ults, let's say he takes Thresh away for an easy kill on a Thresh, or we'll even say he might take Darius away to alleviate the pressure. That leaves Udyr, Thresh, Lucian, and Diana with possibly the squishiest team I've ever seen in my life. There is no way the Wizards ever win a 4v4. So Mordekaiser realistically can't ult anybody unless they get a kill before that, or he has to take someone who's absurdly fed and go, all right, team, outplay. that is all you can do, because it's essentially the Wizards can't really peel for anyone but themselves without just absolutely dying. It's going to be an every man for themselves situation, and someone will do damage as long as they live. If the Eagles are focusing on one person, the other side of this is someone's gonna be melting. You'd hope, right? Because Senna can do damage, Jinx can do damage, Lilia can start doing some damage as well. Lux does burst, so I mean, it's gonna be weird for sure, but it's going to be super hard for Wizards to actually execute these fights, because Eagles should just be able to run them down.
Yeah, Eagles pretty well set up here in this game to just team fight and find these fights. If they need a decent amount of wombo in between the Diana, Darius, and Lucian their ultimates can definitely line up and find something big. But as you're saying, man, Wizards, very squishy competition. Gonna be hard for any of them to stay alive. So it's definitely gonna be up to them to try and find some early game advantages here in their lanes. Because if you're coming out of those lanes behind and in the back foot, it's gonna be very hard to pressure on any of these objectives. Very hard to even team fight, and of course very hard to even close out a game, as you do have quite a bit of range, but if nobody can stand in front of those ranged champions, you're just gonna get run down.
Yeah, for sure. I will say, yeah, that is true, that the Wizards, if they play it right, can space themselves really well. They can play to that advantage, but as you said, as soon as someone gets on top of them, it's kind of just over. Especially if that person is Darius. If Darius has to be ulted by Mordekaiser, I think that's the only one they can really that he can take away that would be actually useful. Because if he took anybody else and Darius is allowed to be in the middle of Lilia, Lux, Jinx, Senna, and he pops Ghost, it's over. It is just absolutely donezo for the side of Wizards.
Yeah, gonna be run down, ran home, and their playoff contention, their playoff race gone. Any chance of them coming back into it and making it happen? It is one of those situations where they are dependent on something else happening. Sharks must lose for the Wizards to get into the playoffs, so they definitely must win here to even have a chance at that, but gonna have to be reliant on another team. So they have to be the people that put their destinies in their own hands. I think that's the saying or something like that. I don't know the actual thing, but something along those lines, right? They have to be the ones deciding how the game goes and how their season ends. So hopefully they do not end it here, and they can continue playing on. And overall, I think while it's a very squishy, very interesting team composition on the side of the Wizards, if they can come out of these lanes ahead, get some advantages early on, scale up some of these hyper carries. They can definitely do some work at the later stages. I would even want to see Mordekaiser just ult nobody sometimes, or ult one of these high damage champions like the Diana or Lucian, just so you have less damage going into the backline. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be a Mordekaiser, and you got to pay a tax, and that tax is a QSS. So hopefully everybody on the side of the Eagles decides to pay it, or they cannot enter the game winning end, I guess would be the thing there, but they cannot enter the gates of victory. So hopefully everybody pays the tax, and Peakley can do some work up there in that top lane, because Hero is on his signature champion. This Darius has not been able to pull it out in the past weeks, but this week it's coming out, and he's going to be playing on it to his best, and he's going to be trying his best to make this a difference in the top lane.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, if I'm Darius and I get super far ahead in this game, or rather if I'm Lucian and my Darius gets super far ahead in the game, as Lucian, I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'm not gonna build a QSS. You ult me. You watch what happens to your team if you ult me instead of Darius, and just you know, while you may die in the Death Realm, you'll be able, once you get out, of course, you'll just see Darius wreaking havoc on the back line. At least that's what I would imagine would be happening should Mordekaiser ult the Lucian instead of Darius, should Darius get fed. So it's definitely going to be a scary situation if Darius is able to get fed, and I'm not gonna lie, I can really see that happening, especially considering that Hero plays a good bit of Darius and really likes the champion. So honestly, as much as I would love to see more games and have, you know, Wizards have a chance at the playoffs, I also want to see Darius run this game. That's one of the only times I would actually find it fun to see like an absolute stump. Usually I like a close game. But watching a Darius just absolutely tear it up sounds really entertaining.
Yeah, seeing a Darius smash onto the heads of the enemy team, always a fun time unless you're playing against it. So good thing we're not in the game, but good luck to the rest of the team. Good luck to the Wizards and the Eagles, both sides looking for the win here. Overall, I think 2 comfortable drafts for both of these teams. Killua on the Diana, Juicy Chewy on the Udyr. I'm real excited for that bear in that jungle, so hopefully he can put some work on it. I want to see him run fast, run down the enemy team. So Lilia and Lux are going to have to do their best to, you know, peel away from him, try to get away from that. I think this is definitely a Merc Treads game here if you are the Udyr, though. A lot of, you know, magic damage and CC on the side of the Wizards, so we'll see if he ends up going for that. Most likely will. And just a few more seconds here until we get into the game here and get into loading up and loading screen. But overall, who do you give your win on the draft to, Shogun?
Oh, on the draft, 100% Eagles. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I think that Wizards is way too squishy. They have too much magic damage in Mordekaiser, Lilia, Lux. I think if Darius gets ahead, he doesn't even have to build damage. He just builds magic resist, and all of a sudden, they can't do anything about him. Yes, you'll have your Jinx, you'll have your Senna, be able to like kind of kite out the Darius if he just stacks only AP. That being said, at that point, once he's fed, if he just stacks, you know, more magic resist and then stacks armor, I don't see Jinx being able to do anything about it. Jinx or Senna, as
Right.
if he doesn't have a team around him, it's a little doomed.
Right, so we're gonna go into the pause real quick. We're gonna get all synced up, and then when we are in the game, we'll let everybody know back to when we are ready.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me
When's the last game of the day on this beautiful Monday? It is gonna be the Eagles versus the Wizards. On the blue side, we got the Eagles. We got the guys looking to end some dreams here. And on the red side, we got the Wizards looking to keep their playoff hopes alive and looking to secure themselves something in this game. All right. Nothing really happening early on. Going to be a 5-point start for the Wizards, and I'm just going to quickly run down these teams. So again, Darius on the on the blue side over there for Hero in that top lane, his signature champion Juicy Chewy on the Udyr in the jungle, Killua in the mid lane running that Diana flip, and Overcomer down in that bot lane running Lucian Thresh. And while on the red side, we got Peakley in that top lane running the Mordekaiser, running that Lilia in the jungle, Oath in the mid lane, running the Lux, Devil's Alter Ego, and a Red Wheelbarrow down in that bot lane, running the Jinx, Senna combo down there. Double range champions for them, and should be interesting to see how these lanes play out.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this goes. I would say Lucian Thresh hard wins the lane. The Jinx, Senna, as long as, of course, they have to play it correctly. They have to make sure they don't take unnecessary damage, which is what you're looking to do as Senna and Jinx. You're looking to punish the range disadvantage that the Lucian specifically has. However, if one of them gets hooked, and Lucian and Thresh are healthy, it is a very scary situation for them. That's all being said, is that Lily has a really hard time against the Udyr, even with the changes that have come out. The nerfs Udyr has taken. I feel like the specific jungle matchup, Lilia does not have a good time there. That being said, I don't think Udyr is as strong. Oh no.
Uh-oh, Red getting locked up here, taking a big chunk of damage, but Hikale on this top side looking to fight Hero though. That Noxie and Fervor doing a whole lot of damage. Hikale getting real low. This could be it. This could be the first blood. Q coming out. Does not find it. Hikale though might be looking to find one back. Not able to do much else. Hero using the Ghost and Flash up there in that top lane. This could be a problem for him not having any summoner spells. Could be possible that a jungler goes up there, but hold that thought because Overcomer's getting real low. Hook lands onto Red Wheelbarrow. Not going to mean the most just yet. That hook has landed. That Ignite is down. One more would have done it. One more auto would have done it. Not going to mean the most. Clip trying to find the kill. Does not find it. Devil's Alter Ego here trying to do his best to keep this lane state as even as possible. But a lot of action very early on in the game, and this is what I want to see, Shogun.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really disappointed that Lucian didn't flash for that. I believe Lucian gets the kill with an auto, and if he doesn't get it with an auto, he has another auto available to him after. I mean, Senna had already used basically everything to get away in that situation. She had flashed, Jinx had used heal, so I think she would have been dead to rights had Lucian gone for that last auto or two. I think she would have been dead, unless Jinx did use the heal after, and I am not remembering that correctly. In which case, it's good for him to go ahead and wait. That all being said, Thresh is taking a lot of damage after looking for hooks, which is not what you want to be doing, but he did find the hook, which means that it's not for nothing at the very least. And yeah, Diana not going to have a good time against the Lux until Diana hits 6. I feel like Diana starts winning that, as long as if she could somehow bait out the Lux Q, if Lux gives that ability up, all of a sudden she loses basically every single trade. And yeah, Darius should just be winning this pretty hard, I want to say.
Looking to take him out, but Hikale getting real low as well. Hikale, oh, that's the first blood in the backhand of Hero. Makes it happen on the Darius. Oh, got too greedy up there in that top lane. Hikale not respecting that damage on the bleed from Noxie and Fervor. Oh, man, and Darius just makes it happen. Hero up there in the top lane, wanting to make a statement here in this game.
It begins. Darius has first blood, and that could start the reign of terror. And also something I want everyone to pay a little bit of attention to is that Jinx did blow Flash to try to kill the Thresh, was trying to execute him, was just like 2 HP away from actually getting that kill. Was very upsetting. Almost had it, but now Jinx in this lane does not have Flash available, which is really bad for her, because if Udyr just comes on down, if they are too far up, she just dies. I don't think there's any way they actually get away from an Udyr Lucian Thresh running at them.
Yeah, for sure. Not a whole lot you can do against the bear slap coming in from the Udyr there. Juicy Chew, you're gonna look for something around this dragon here, but so far it's a lot of prio on the side of the Wizards here around this first dragon here. Looking for it already. Relan just getting some early vision down around this objective, not wanting to just give it away for free. Overcomer though, as you were just saying, down in that bot lane on the Thresh, taking quite a bit of damage against this bot lane duo. It is double 80 carry. You have a big range advantage against those guys. Hero though looking for another fight up here. Hikale not wanting to back down just yet. He's saying, you know what, you killed me the first time, but not again. Then Noxie and Fervor doing a lot of damage with that bleed though, so Hero maybe gonna be able to do some work here as well, but probably gonna hit 6 first as well. Has hit it now, could very well look for a kill. Here is Juicy Chewy though. Flash Bear Slap here could be it. He does not find it though. Juicy Chewy, what was that? Oh no, Relan is up here on the top side looking for something back. Relan getting real low though. One more auto attack would be in the range for him to execute. Hero just using the Ghost to try and get away, build some space in between them. A lot of action around the map, and this is what I want to see. If you're gonna have a Darius in the game, you gotta make it bloody, and Hero is making that happen, making that a statement over here, while Juicy Chewy looks for that play on the bot side and Relan is on the top side. Overall, they can't make it happen. We are in a pause now, though. Both has been reporting some lagging issues, and overall, I think it's turning out to be a pretty hype game so far.
Yeah, it's pretty hype. Udyr's confused as to why Jinx didn't get stunned. Udyr went in with Phoenix stance, which I don't know if he knows that he went in with Phoenix stance or if he knows what's going on with the I imagine he picks Udyr knowing that Bear stance is the one that stuns. Um, I would hope so anyway. Like that's why that happened. But he also started Phoenix stance at the beginning of the game, and they were going for an invade, which is really confusing because I imagine they'd want Bear stance for the stun. So I'm not too sure as to what's going on with that. I hope it's just a little bit of confusion not hitting the bear stance and going for it in that situation, and instead just forgetting to form switch, or maybe they tried form switching and it ended up like it was just a little bit of lag and they weren't able to get it. But definitely a confusing moment there for me with Udyr trying to get the stun off onto the Jinx whilst in the Phoenix stance.
Yeah, for sure. Not able to find that stun with the bear slap. Maybe a little bit of uncomfortableness on this Udyr so far. It's not looking the best so far. Is quite a bit behind as well in the jungle. Has not been able to power clear as efficiently as I'd like to see. Reland has gotten about a 10 CS lead onto him, so hopefully he can close that gap a little bit. Because if he lets that continue to grow, Aurelia could definitely balloon that kind of CS lead and get some gold into her back pocket. Did opt in for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity here, though, so we'll see if that's going to mean anything at the later stages of the game. We should be getting back into the game here fairly shortly. Game should be on pause quite soon here. But overall, I think pretty decent lane matchups around the map. They have been quite action-packed, so that's what I like to see. Darius opting in for that attack speed early on in that top lane. Going to be pretty good for his passive, able to stack it up easily. Once you use your pull, once you hook somebody in, it could very well mean their death. We saw him almost do it to Reland on that top side when he went for that gank. If he did land that ultimate, it could have been his very death. But so far, not meaning the most. And overall, Devil's Alter Ego and Red Wheelbarrow doing pretty good at surviving this bot lane.
Oh, Jinx isn't freezing the wave. Jinx is autoing the wave. Oh, that is so sad to see. They had a really good position for the wave to be able to freeze it, but instead they just kind of start shoving it out. And because they start doing that, the Eagles bot lane says, okay, we can just go ahead and back. They try to go ahead and crash the wave under the tower. It's not going to reach the tower quite yet. I want to say the bot lane also has... they backed on Cannon Wave. They did in fact back on Cannon Wave. So yeah, that wave is looking kind of doomed for the red side, assuming that the Eagles are able to manipulate it correctly. So we'll see if the Wizards... Oh, hold on a second.
Ooh, Killua looking for a play onto Oath here. He's getting real low. Oath trying his best to stay alive. That's a second Q landing. Nothing else to follow, though. Killua looking for the engage there, looking for the fight. Reland, real close to death there in his own jungle. Almost died to his Gromp there. Able to stay alive in the end. Just going to get a reset here, and this is what I like to see. A lot of the members on the Wizards are resetting at the same time, looking for that recall. Going to have tempo going back onto the map, although they did give up quite a bit leaving initially and taking some bad trades overall, but are going to be able to do it in the end here. Dragon is up. Nobody's made a rotation to it just yet, and steadily a few hundred gold in the lead are the Eagles. Oh, Devil's Alter Ego finds the root there onto Flip Trick, but not going to mean the most down here. Nobody there to really help out the Jinx. Devil's Alter Ego by himself so far in that bot lane. But here is Lilia now down on the bot side. They could very well look for a play onto the bot lane of the Eagles.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that is their plan. They want to try to bring Lilia down for something here. Might actually try to... Oh no, they're just forcing the wave under tower. Looking like their plan. Lucian also didn't freeze the wave, so it's fine. We essentially have both the Eagles and the Wizards bot lane pretty much just playing ping pong with the wave, nothing else more to it, which is honestly, that's just good for Jinx because she is keeping up in CS. She's making sure that she has at least even or more with Lucian, which if that is the case, as long as there are no kills given over, means Jinx very easily wins the lane. So Lucian and Thresh definitely want to try to make a play happen. They should try to bring Udyr in. They should be trying to freeze this wave. That's the biggest thing. They should be looking to make sure that Jinx and Senna cannot walk up. that's one of the biggest strengths of playing something like the Lucian Thresh, is that you can very easily manipulate that wave and make sure that the enemy team can't walk up. Hold on, there's...
Ooh, Pickley pulls Hero into the Death Realm. Noxian Fervor is stacking up. Pickley flashes in, just wants to find some more damage down. Pickley, oh, that's a flash dodge from the Hero over there. He's going to be trying to make it happen. Pickley, at the end of the day, not able to find a kill, but very nice play there from him to try and find something happen. Is down, has that Leeching Leer, has quite a bit of damage in his back pocket, but not going to mean the most just yet. Pickley doing pretty well for himself now. It has stabilized this lane after he got solo killed, but that's Darius ghosting in there. That's going to be the Senna ultimate coming down to try and keep him alive. Hero popping to Fiora. Okay, letting him know, hey, you're not going to kill me either. But overall, Darius having a pretty decent time up there in the bot lane. Overcomer finds the hook down here on the bot side. Red Wheelbarrow getting locked up. Not going to be the most just yet. Nobody here, but there are 4 members. Now down here on the bot side, flip trick. That's gonna be a flash for flash. That's gonna be a Diana ultimate coming down. Juicy Chewy picks up the kill at the end of that. That's gonna be a dead Senna. Lucian feeling bad that he has to kill his wife, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna mean the most. Relan needs to find something to happen. This could very well be his death, but a little bit more damage would have done it. That's gonna be the smite kill. Relan and his team find something on the top side to return it back for Red going down on the bot side. Overall, gonna trade this Rift Herald and this Dragon. Gonna be a handshake from both of these teams. And overall, going to be, you know, the side of the Eagles coming out a little bit more farther ahead on that.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, the Wizards don't go and get Rift Herald, which I feel like they could have done. Yes, Mordekaiser is a little low. Lilia even more so. But they can bring Lux up and they can go for it because they should know that, hey, we just made a play top side. The Eagles just made a play on bot side, so they should be going for Dragon right now. That should be a free objective, so we should try to match that and get something. We could get a bunch of plays topside, but instead, they don't end up doing that. They're on Rift Herald. No, they just got the Scuttle Crap, and that's it. So, definitely a missed opportunity there, for sure, for the side of the Wizards. Not picking up that Rift Herald, not even batting an eye at the prospect of doing something like that, which I definitely think is a bit of a blunder.
For sure. And Shogun, something just crossed my mind. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, of course. What's up?
Do you think Shelly ever gets sad seeing all her little babies die? All those Rift Herald or Rift Scuttlers just get murdered in front of her?
Yeah. That's got to be very upsetting, especially since they're just doing it for the money. They're just doing it for the money and insane amount of XP that it is, and that's realistically all they amount to. And it's gotta be real sad for Shelly to see something like that happen.
Yeah, every game, little Rift Scuttlers die on all rifts around the world. So, Shelly must be pretty down in the dumps knowing all her babies are dying. But to take off that point here, I think we've seen pretty decent play out of the Eagles so far. We've gotten ourselves a Dragon now. 12 minutes in the game. Was a little bit later. Nobody has rotated towards this Rift Herald just yet. So hopefully we see a rotation coming out very shortly as the plates are going down in about 1:30. But overall, the lanes on the side of the Eagles have been coming a little bit farther ahead. Though that Lucian Thresh has not been able to do the most. They did find a kill earlier with the help of their jungle and mid lane, but hold that because Pickley is looking for another fight up here in the top lane. Uses that the Death Realm to try and stay alive, but Pickley, that could be it. That's it. He finds it. Hero goes down. Oh man, that's a solo kill if I've ever seen one. That was completely 1v1. This Hero not respecting the Death Realm damage. The stealing of stats that he does get in that Death Realm does mean quite a bit in that 1v1. And Pickley knows his limits and plays against them and takes down Hero up there in the top lane. So pretty good out of him to shut down that Darius a little bit farther. I would have liked to see him, you know, maybe pushing away one more and get a play there. But I respect him also going back and just resetting, getting that those steel spaldrons or those steel shoes. I forgot what they're called. But that is going to be a hook down here on the land side, on the bot side landing, and it's not going to be the most, but overall, Eagles are coming out a little bit ahead. Oath Bull is getting locked up here. Bear Slap comes out. That's going to be Oath getting real low as well. That shield is barely coming alive. Oath going to go down in the end there. Killua picking up the kill onto him. The mid jungle here have been roaming around the map, finding kills and making plays happen for the side of the Eagles.
Yeah, for sure, and that's a pretty huge play for the side of the Eagles, managing to get something back and getting an advantage for Diana. Trying to get that champion snowballing would be really good for them. And see if that they're able to do something with that. Diana especially trying to get a roam down, and there's something happening in the top side. Hold on a second.
We could very well see a brawl here for the Rift Herald. Doesn't look like anything's gonna happen. They're gonna be handshaking away from Relan and Pikley. Gonna say, we don't want this smoke, we're gonna give it to you anyway. Just take the Rift Herald and leave. Fliptrick getting low here though. That's a lot of damage coming out from the double ADC bot lane on the side of the Wizards. So far, they've been doing pretty good. Have been consistently pushing in the waves. Have a decent CS. You know, they're even in CS, excuse me. And they're doing pretty well for themselves. Hero, you know, done with that taunting. He wants to go in. He's looking for the fight here. Pikley has those armor boots, so he's not going to take that much damage. And overall, wins the health trade. So not going to be feeling the worst up there in that top lane. Hero not doing as much damage as he was at the early stages of the game. And this Mordekaiser pick for Pikley is coming in pretty clutch at mitigating what this Darius can do.
Oh no.
Oh no, Diana is running down Oath once again. Killua is trying to find the kill here. Oath just sidestepping that Q barely, the flash in. That's gonna be the kill. Killua finds it in the end. Another solo kill in the mid lane there. Pikley going into the death realm now, trying to find something up here on the top side. Hero is trying to heal back with the Q, playing at his limits. Gonna be it. He finds the kill back onto the Darius. Hero, not the hero he needs to be in this game. Has gotten solo kill twice now. Up in that top lane after an amazing start has just been shut down by Pikley. Definitely coming out on top on this Mordekaiser. So Hero really needs to start either looking for some roams or just, you know, play around that death realm a little bit better, because this is the second time now he's been taken out and taken down. So we might see something happen down here on the bot lane. That is a mid jungle once again. Roaming up from the mid lane down into the bot lane. That's gonna be them getting real low. Killua, so much damage, man. Just destroys them. Two more into the pockets of the Eagles, while Hero just died on the top side. The mid jungle duo, Juicy Chewy and Killua, are making it happen. They're making these plays around the map. They've consistently been around here, and now they're gonna pick up their second Drake here for themselves. Eagles looking pretty good in this game. Steel's not gonna come through. And overall, Ocean and Infernal in the back pockets of the Eagles.
Yep, for sure. And getting those two first dragons is really big for them. And they actually had no vision in that bush. They just went for that play. That's really interesting for Lux. And something else I wanna point out is Udyr didn't have smite for that dragon fight. Hold on, there's a top lane fight going on. Okay, never mind. He's just
pretty one-sided.
Yeah. So. Diana's coming up though, so could be some blood spilled in the top side.
Oh, yep. Ult is not up yet for Pikley. Dashing in from the Diana. Killua trying to find some more damage onto Pikley. Not gonna be the most. Relan is trying to defend his top laner. Hero is going in, finds the ult onto one only. That Dawning Shadow's not gonna be the most just yet. Excuse me, that was a Lilting Lullaby, I believe is the name of that ability. I confused myself with the Senna ultimate name, but here we go. We're back into this. They try to make something happen on the top lane. Not going to mean anything at all. This gold lane is almost dead even here. Only a few hundred gold in the lead are the Eagles. And so far, it's becoming quite the banger so far. A lot of action around the map. A lot of things happening everywhere. So hopefully they can keep up this action. Pikley going into this from now against Killua by himself. 1v1. Is he going to be able to make it happen? One more auto would have done it. But that is shut down. Going onto the Diana. Oath is now in a 1v2 as well. Gets blasted down. That's going to be the Dunkaroni. Hero finds it. And that's going to be 2 kills into the back pocket of the Eagles once again. So while they might be losing some pressure around these towers here, they're not losing in the 1v1s. They're not losing in these skirmishes. And they find another couple of kills in that top side and further their gold lead a little bit more. Just turned from a couple hundred to 1,000 now. So definitely on their way to try and snowball. Devil's Alter Ego and Red Wheelbarrow might be in a bad spot here. That's a nice hook finding him. Devil's Alter Ego now getting TP'd on. It could be in a bad spot here. That is going to be Hero coming into the back line. Nope, it's actually Killua. Excuse me, he does not have TP, but that's going to be a hook landing. That's a nasty hook overcomer. Finds a second. Pikley is now in a 1v3 behind enemy line. Can he get away? Can he do it? Can he be James Bond, the secret agent? He's getting run down. He's going under tower now. That's going to be the bear, though. Here comes the bear stance. He's looking for him. He's looking for him. It's not going to be able to find it just yet. The Eden dashed him away. But here is Flip as well. Juicy Chewy trying to find the W. Just gets the auto off. That's going to be enough damage to do it. Juicy Chewy finds the kill. Pikley goes down. TP for nothing. And that's going to be the Eagles finding another couple of kills into their pocket. 2,000 gold in the lead. Feeling really good in this game.
Yeah, for sure. The Eagles definitely feeling very comfortable right now. And I gotta say, A little greedy from the Udyr at the end there. Definitely could have given that kill over to Lucian. Lucian really needs a little bit extra gold to try to put some space between his wallet and Jinx's wallet. As of right now, they're pretty even. He does have 3 assists and a kill, so it should be about like 500 to, yeah, so he's about 400 gold up right now. Another kill would have been really, really good for him. Would have put him about 700 gold up onto the Jinx. Would have been very nice, but that's okay. Having that on Udyr is fine as well. You have a 5-0 into Diana, who is just going to start running away with this game. I feel like it's going to be another mid-diff, very similar to the last game.
Yeah, looking like it completely so far. Oath not able to do the most on this Lux pick just yet. But for that last play, Shogun, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Overcomer with those 2 nasty hooks, one after another, finding them, but hold that as I'm trying to give some credit. Maybe we need to give some credit up here on the top lane. Hero is getting slept up, but on the bottom side as well, that's gonna be a big dive! Double kill for the Diana, that's 2 kills! Hero trying to make it happen, trying to stay alive, trying to do his best. He's not able to stay alive in the end. Reeland finds one back. That's going to be a 1 for 2 for the side of the Eagles. They trade the top laner for the 2 kills on the bot side as this dragon is spawning up in a few more seconds, in 50 seconds. So nice play out of them to find 2 more kills, put some more gold in their back pocket, get a reset off, and buy some more items, secure themselves a little bit further in this game, and overall just put themselves at an even better spot than they were earlier. All right. Okay. All right. So we just had to get a little bit back in sync there for a few seconds. I was casting a little bit ahead of time into the future, so we should all be synced up, all good now. And we just saw that nasty dive on the bot lane from the side of the Eagles to secure themselves a little bit more, and now setting up around this dragon. Oh Lord, Killua finds that huge Q onto Red Wheelbarrow, has to blow the flash instantly, barely stays alive. A little bit more damage would have done it and taken him out, but solid play out of there, out of Killua to find that and just chunk out that enemy support.
Yeah, that was almost a very bad situation for the Wizards to find themselves in, but either way, Eagles are going to pick themselves up the 3rd dragon of the game, one of the most important dragons to pick up, only second to the Soul, and maybe Elder Dragon as well. I think the 3rd one really controls the tempo. If they don't get this one, it doesn't put a lot of pressure on, or it doesn't put nearly as much pressure on the Wizards as as opposed if the Wizards had gotten a dragon before this. And hold on, there's a brawl going up on the top lane.
As top lane is consistently brawling up here. He has a QSS now. Hero able to get away in the end of that. Merc trades as well. Not going to let him get CC'd for too long there, but he takes a very bad health trade. Zanya's almost picked up here for Piklay as well. If he does get, ran down from the enemy laner, or from the enemy mid laner and jungler here, Killua and Juicy Chiku not going to be able to do much once he is in stasis. So smart pickup there from Piklay, but overall is getting the much better of these trades up here on this top side.
Yeah, for sure.
The flash bear slap. Juicy Chewy going over the wall to try and find it. Dash back to pull him away, but Juicy Chewy is going to be able to do not that much more here. I thought he might have had the kill there with Hero, but Hero is just too low. It does not do much. Devil's on the Ego. He finds the Hero 39 on the Darius. We thought he'd be the playmaker, but he's going to get played on. That's a big super mega death rocket to find the kill from downtown. Devil's Alter Ego finding the sniper. Hold that down because Killua just destroys Red Wheelbarrow with no chance of survival. Yeah, not looking too good on that Senna so far.
Yeah. Oh no, they're also building Kraken Slayer. That's not what you want to see. Hold on.
Piklay might be in a bad spot here. Juicy Chewy locking him up. It's going to be the stasis coming out. Not going to be the most. Piklay not able to do much just yet. Flashes over the wall, trying to stay alive, but no hook's going to land just yet. Flip Trick is on the other side of this. Can he stay alive? Can he make it happen? Nope, he cannot. Flip Trick picks one back up. They're pinging onto this bear here. Piklay got picked at probably the worst time he could have, but at the end of the day, not much he could do there against all 5 members there. His team was not in a good position to help him out. Oath is now getting locked up here. Has to flash over the wall, over that red pit. try and stay alive. Does in the end there that E is going to come down and get some vision, but not going to be the most. It could very well be the Baron going into his hands. Reland and Red Wheelbarrow are here to try and defend, but Killua Golden is the gatekeeper to this Baron pit. That ult comes down. That's going to be the ultimate lullaby, not find anything else. That ultimate's not going to find anything just yet. This could very well be a smite steal that they need, but nothing's going to happen just yet. Oh, Juicy Tree secures it in the end. Not much else happened, but they could very well be looking to turn and fight your overcomer in the pit by himself.
Oh no. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that one. What I did want to talk about real quick is Diana being picked up is really big for the Wizards. And while they weren't able to get the Baron, they do also get a Thresh on top of that. Something I want to point out, however, is that Senna is building Kraken Slayer. I do not like that for two reasons. One, it's a super expensive build, and if you're going fasting Senna / support Senna, basically the same thing, by the way, it's really hard to do. And considering that the nerf to Ginzu's makes it also just not as strong of a build as it was before, I would hesitate to even pick her at ADC, to pick her in support and then also build those two items. I am a really just not a big fan of doing that. And we'll see if Wizards are able to do something with it, though. They are trying to equalize the gold lead a little bit here. As long as they can do something with Jinx, I feel like Jinx is going to be. Hold on.
A lot of action going down in this mid lane. Overcomer in a bad spot here. Does not have the flash as he whipped it earlier, but that's not going to be the most. Reland picks up the kill onto him. Solid play out of the Wizards over here and try to find one back. Try to find some more gold into their back pockets. Caught the Thresh sleeping, caught the rest of their team as well. Could have been very bad if Thresh just didn't die for them there. He played just with a flank there, trying to make it happen, try to keep his team alive. And so far, you know, the Eagles have not been able to get the most out of this Baron just yet. They still have quite a bit of time on it, but with that pick going out onto Thresh, you just lost one of your frontliners. So going to be very important for them to play a little bit more safely around this, because although they are in the lead, it is only about 2,000, but hold that because Flip just gets locked up. Oh, Lord. Super Mega Death Rocket does not take him out, but Snipe might come out! There it is! Oh, with the Snipe from downtown, from the mid lane, finds it onto him, and now there's going to be no AD carry up for this Dragon here. This is a soul point that the Eagles very well needed, and that the Wizards over here really needed to deny, and it looks like they might just be able to.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're probably gonna be able to make sure that Eagles aren't able to get this this soul. Udyr could look for a steal, but he's too busy doing Krugs, and nobody else seems interested in this one, which I think is a good call. You say we do not need this dragon. They do not need this dragon. This is just nice for them. It's nice to deny it from us, but we do not need that specific dragon. It's fine. We can go for the next one. Just nobody die a minute before the next dragon. Please, please, please. Just everybody play a little safe. You have a lot of people on the side of the Eagles being in really weird positions. We had Diana in the bot lane. We had Darius, Udyr, and Lucian up top lane. And then Thresh is mid lane, which he can't be there because, one, he can't peel himself out of any situation. And two, he has no damage to even get a trade, even if he is caught out. So, and he also has no wave clear, so he has actually no reason to be alone in the mid lane. If anything, I could understand if he was trying to even clear vision, but it just seems like he was autopiloting and just didn't know exactly where to be, and it just kind of found himself in mid lane.
Yeah, kind of auto-pathed himself towards his death. Not going to be the best for his team. They could have had that Cloud Soul there. Very good on their champion, as you do have the Udyr plus Diana and Darius there. Will be very helpful to catch people out. But at the end of the day, I want to see a little bit of a rotation here happen with the lane assignments from the side of the Eagles. I would much rather see the Diana against the Mordekaiser, as he is, you know, the Wizards, one of their strongest members. So if you send the Diana against there, he's going to have a much better time against him, as he has no MR, and Darius will be just fine against that Lux down there in the bot lane. So that'd be a nice rotation to see. I don't know if they're going to do it anytime soon, but could have very well helped the Eagles' positioning here in this game, help them get a little bit more pressure onto these second towers on the side lanes, and you know, secure themselves a little bit more entrances into the enemy jungle.
For sure. And, well, Mordekaiser might be in a bit of trouble here. The Chem Tank.
Oh, that's the Chem Tank running down. That's going to be a fast bear coming out. He's going to use the ultimate onto Juicy Chewy. That's going to be a 1v1 if I've ever seen one. That's going to be him fighting in the Death Realm, fighting in the speed move of the Juicy Chewy of the Udi here. Picle not able to get away at all. He gets locked up and ran down by the 3-man squad of the Eagles. It's going to be his death, his demise, his end. Death Realm was only his Death Realm. And now he's going to go down in that top lane. The rest of his team is trying to find something happen. Red Wheelbarrow completely caught sleeping. Auto-passing towards the Baron into the vision. That's going to be the Dawning Shadows coming out, hitting nobody as well. Oh, that was just a misplay from the bot lane of the Wizards there. And now Juicy Chewy just going to be able to force out all these ultimates here. This bear is just too fast to catch out.
Yeah, the Merc Tread's also allowing him to be able to just run away, the Q not lasting as long as the Lux is used to, for sure, and he just says, I'm gonna run away from your ult now, goodbye, as that needed. I think if she hits the Q, or if she throws out the ultimate as the Q is flying, she can definitely manage to hit that ability, but because she hesitates a little bit, waits to make sure to confirm that she hits the Q, that's gonna be Udyr not taking any damage from that ultimate. As Diana stealing away the blue buff, which is not what you want to see if you're the Wizards. The Eagles doing a good job of taking all the resources that the Wizards could end up using, especially a minute 40 before the Dragon. This is the time to reset if you're ever going to take a time to reset before the Dragon, because for many reasons, if you want to spend your gold, but the other big one is so that you can get your wards on your support. So you go back to the fountain, you refill those wards, you go back onto the map, you get to Dragon around with like a minute to like 45 seconds remaining on the spawn, and you start setting up the vision, so you make sure that you're able to also keep hold of that vision. You get Prio in the mid lane, and then you go to Dragon, you take it, you have Soul, you force the Wizards to come in and try to like take a fight that they really can't win. I'd imagine in this situation, Diana's too far ahead in a straight 5v5. I would say they just straight up lose. But we'll see what they end up going for, or how they choose to answer this play. I think what might be best for them is maybe even going Baron, which we'll see if they end up pathing towards. I think contesting the Dragon is a bit of a mistake, especially resetting your jungler, resetting 40 seconds before makes it really hard to go for the Dragon. So we'll see what ends up happening. A little worried about that one.
Yeah, is going to be able to run out onto the map here, though. It's definitely going to be looking for some control around these objectives, but they're going to be the most. That's going to be a fast bear running in. He uses the Chem Tank to run fast and run past the Red Wheelbarrow. Not going to be able to stay alive at all. This Senna not tanky, not able to do anything really in this game so far. And that's just going to be looking real bad for the side of the Wizards here. They had to look for something. Picle is on the top side, just split pushing. Going to send Hero back to try and defend it. Try and send him back and try and answer him over there on that top lane, but this could very well be an easy soul take here for the side of the Eagles here. Gonna be able to not find anything with that Super Mega Death Rocket, but at the end of the day, Cloud Soul in the back pockets of the Eagles. Juicy Chewy, fastest man alive, call him Usain Bolt. Gonna be going real fast on this Udyr now. Has both the Dead Man's Plate and the Warden's Mail. Or, excuse me, the Dead Man's Plate and the Force of Nature, as well as the Turbo Chem Tank. Very fast guy there. Plus the Cloud Soul on top of that, but hold that because Picle is just getting tanked down. This guy cannot find a break up here, just consistently caught out and caught in. Picle gonna knock him over with the Blast Cone. Give him a chance to get away. Oh lord, that's gonna be Picle dead once again, not able to stay alive at all. Oath just finding a hook here, finding that root. Not gonna be the most here. Could be the Dawning Shadows finding it, but this Senna just does little to no damage right now in this game, so not going to mean the most there. Red Wheelbarrow trying his hardest, but he can't really do it. Oh, Devil's Alter Ego and Red Wheelbarrow are here. 4 members on the side of this Dragon Pit. Can they make it happen? Can they look for the steal? That he does have Flash. Reland, this is your chance to shine. Juicy Chewy has gotten the better of you so far in this game, but he can't find it. That new Polar Bear! He's dead!
I hope he's not cutting out for anybody else, and if he is, I will take over. Diana's going in onto the Lux. Lux has to run away from the Diana. Diana be able to clean up that kill. Now Diana has to run after the Senna, and I think that's going to end up being game for the side of the Eagles here. They're walking down mid, might not be able to find the end of the game. And Gundo, are you back?
Am I back here? Did I blow
All
up your
right,
eardrums? Sorry
all
about
right.
that.
You're sounding okay. You're sounding better. All right,
Okay,
cool.
am I back? I'm good. Am I good? All right. Almost had a heart attack there. Excuse me. Sorry about that. What a little crazy on that. Thanks for taking over there, Jackson. Appreciate it. Thanks, Shogun. Coming in clutch there when I completely lost my breath and couldn't keep talking. But anyways, going into this, they find a steal, surprisingly, and now Wizards are going to be able to stay alive in this game for a little longer. Just get it away. Devil's alter ego with the super mega death rocket steal, making it happen when it mattered most. Reeland not able to get the smite, but that ultimate from the Jinx was right there to make it happen. Did get it completely obliterated by the Diana on the back side of that. We just saw him get completely popped one shot. So although they do have quite a bit of Barons on their side, still not going to be in the best spot here coming into the push that they need to make here. Do have quite a bit of range, so hopefully they can look to siege some of these towers down, get some more gold in their back pockets.
Yeah, for sure. Does seem to be their plan, and they are. The Eagles getting very ahead in this game, especially after that fight. The Diana proving herself to be a problem, even though Jinx is able to get that steal onto the Baron. It doesn't matter because they took some heavy casualties in that situation. If anything, it does make it very, very hard for the Eagles to close out this game, and the Wizards are just doing everything they can to survive, to maybe get Jinx to get a, at this point, I'd say a rapid fire cannon. I actually would have rather seen rapid fire cannon before the IE, but I suppose she just needed more damage. She needed to do something. The issue I have with that is that she doesn't have a lot of peel, and she needs a rapid fire cannon to help her space herself away from the rest of the enemy team. I would even argue that Runans is not as good, because I don't think there's any situation where you are able to just straight up free fire into their team with them, or into the Eagles' team with them all grouped up. I'm pretty sure the only one you're really going to be shooting when the enemy Diana's so ahead is the enemy Diana, who is on top of you 24/7 trying to kill you. So, and you don't need a Runans to deal with that singular person. So definitely would have rather have seen a rapid fire cannon. And well, here comes Udyr.
Juicy Chewy's coming in from the back line, coming in from the side. Juicy Chewy just flashes over the wall to find nothing really, but he's gonna run over on the back side of the top lane turret over there. Not gonna be the most here, and overall, the side of the Wizards have managed to stay alive. They don't want their playoff hopes to go away and go into the drain, so they're trying their best, trying their hardest to stay alive in this game. Every member on the side of the Eagles over there is quite strong. Going to be very hard to take down anybody, really, or find a pick here if you are the side of the Wizards. So Juicy Chewy is here again, flashing, or base checking into the Udyr. Not going to be in the most here. Juicy Chewy's going to be able to just lock him up and take him down. That's going to be Fliptrick getting locked up here by Peak Blade. It's going to be AD carry or top lane trade or mid lane trade there, but Peak Blade is in between 4 members. It's going to be a 2 for 0, but the rest of his team is here. Can they find what they need? Juicy Chewy's getting locked up here. Peak Blade in the front line trying to do his best to tank up, but not going to be the most. Devil's Alter Ego getting locked up by the Diana here. Killua finds what he needs to. He's going to go down in the end there. Devil's Alter Ego not able to do anything at all. Reland trying his hardest to do what he can to keep this game alive, but that's going to be the ace coming out from Hero, and that could very well be the end of the game. Looks like it's going to be. That's going to be the last push that they need, the last few kills into their back pockets to end this one out. Cloud Soul in hand, 25 kills to 11, 5,000 gold in the lead. They found the fight that they had been looking for all game. Not going to look for the end here, are picking onto this Elder Dragon, so just going to reset, but overall in a very good position to end this game.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, if I'm Udyr, I don't even bother resetting. I just start running towards the dragon. There's no way that anyone can really even do anything against them. That being said, he's actually fast enough, and he might get to the dragon. You know what? My bad. I forgot how fast Udyr was. He's basically at the dragon already. Taking that reset is just fine for him. Being full health for this is very worth it. However, Jinx could start pathing towards the dragon now. I think that this is the play that they need to make. They need to make their last stand at the dragon. Of course, a lot of teams will fall into this mindset of, we don't want to die over at the dragon, we want to just make our last stand in base, but you can't make a last stand against a team with the Elder Dragon, which they're starting to realize, and they're coming in now, and they block the rocket, which is really good, but we'll see if They're able to try to get the steal. Oh my god!
Wheelbarrow's getting absolutely blown up. That's the Elder Dragon in the backside, in the hands of the Eagles. Not gonna mean the most. That's gonna be Diana into the back line. That's 5-2 already. That's gonna be the entire team of the Wizards going down. They couldn't do it. They couldn't make their playoff dream happen. But in the end of the day, that's gonna be Diana just running through the end of them. That's gonna be the Elder Soul in their back pocket. That's gonna be the game here for the side of the Eagles. They didn't really need this win, honestly, but at the end of the day, they just showed out and dominated the Wizards. And at the end of the day, this Diana 15-1 and 7 Killua just making it happen, making the plays, and he destroys the Wizards' chance of a playoff hope.
Yeah, for sure. That Diana was just absolutely insane. The amount of damage that she was pumping out was just crazy, and that's really what seals the game away for the Wizards. It's having to deal with that Diana, and because they're so squishy, they can't do anything against her because she just explodes them. I mean, you saw Senna getting 100-0 by not even the ultimate. It was a Q, E, boom, dead. Like, that was it. Maybe an auto thrown in there as well, just for good measure. And realistic, if she gets on to anybody else, it takes a little bit more. But if she's able to find 2 people with her ult, especially if it's anyone besides Mordekaiser, they're almost definitely going to die.
Yeah, no chance of them to even come out of it. Nasty hook there from Overcomer at the end of the game. Tried his best to, pick them out. They do get the jungler, not even able to get a chance at the steal, but overall, just Wizards getting outplayed around the map. We saw a big difference there between Killua and Oath, not able to do it in the end of the game, and ends up with the most damage in the game as well. 32,000 in his back pocket, feeling real good for himself. Pikley, second highest in the game there with 26,000, was smacking on that Darius all game. So give credit where credit is due, but make sure you vote for your player of the game. Another banger of a game here. We saw the Baron steal where I lost I don't even know. I just couldn't even think or breathe anymore. But a really good game. Eagles take it in the end, and Wizards lose any chance of making it into playoffs. So make sure you vote for your player of the game. We'll be back in a few. We're going to send it out to a break. And when we come back, we're going to be breaking down this a little bit more at the analyst desk.
It's late,
Yeah, for sure.
make my mistakes.
Oh, yeah,
Someone
see?
I don't feel them, but it's bound to hit me later tonight. I wanna say you're everything I wanted for a while and for the rest of time. I don't wanna fight for you. I just wanna talk. And I don't wanna spin around. I'm scared to call you, can't calm you down. No, you're better than nobody else. It's hopeless confiding your love kills me every time. Stupid addicted to you. I'm stupid addicted to you. Oh, can't get enough of you. Can't get enough of you. The pain is still the same. I tell you I don't feel it, but I've never been a liar. I'm a page that you can read. You're everything I wanted for a while and for the rest of time. I don't wanna fight for you. I just wanna talk. And I don't wanna spin around. I'm scared to call you, can't calm you down. No, be better than nobody else. It's hopeless confiding your love kills me every time. Stupid addicted to you. To you. Stupid addicted to you. Oh.
Alright everyone, welcome back. So, your player of the game, after I turn off this music, is going to be Mr. Overcomer down in that support lane, playing the Thresh, popping off, doing mad work, landed some pretty spicy hooks, and he was able to help throughout the mid game and late game. His early game was not the strongest, but he was able to pull his weight and push his team forward, especially in the later stages. Landed some pretty decent hooks, and it worked out very well. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to hard disagree with chat. I of course I usually vote in these myself. I gave my vote to the mid laner. I gave it to the Diana. Diana absolutely tore it up.
That's very true. I have to agree with that one.
Yeah. Thresh was playing well at times, but there was also times Thresh kinda did some questionable things, especially in lane, walking up and taking a lot of damage for no reason. Did find the hooks at times, but he ended up, I want to say he or Lucian ended up dying to Jinx Senna, which really shouldn't be happening. And there was also that weird thing that happened in mid lane where he just kind of died, which was odd to me. He still played well overall. I'd say I just would definitely give it to Diana, just because of how exceptionally well she played. Like, she played out of her mind that game.
I definitely think Killua was a key factor. He was, I think, the X factor overall for them being able to win this game. But chat has voted for Mr. Overcomer, and I think everyone overall played very well. There were a couple mistakes, but I think overall as a team, they had the ideas, they worked together very well, and I think just overall, everyone did their jobs. But turns out we are going to be taking care of the tiebreaker between the Crusaders and the Panthers here. So we are going for game number 3 tonight. Very spicy stuff. This is going to be very interesting. What do you think here? So it is going to be a rehash. This is going to be a salty run back here of game number 1.
I think that's really fun to watch, especially. I definitely think that the Crusaders want to go ahead and try to get some revenge from earlier. I think they also have the ability to do so. With the way we saw Mako playing, I think that there's some potential for a much better game this time around. What we're going to want to see is definitely the top laner to have a bit of a better matchup. Also, the mid laner just trying to contain Defoe. I think that's the real name of the game for the Crusaders, on trying not to let him get a champion that can just shove in the wave and roam or something like that.
He was definitely able to play that roaming style very well, being able to take over the game just by pushing in waves. Like he said, he was able to affect top lane, he was able to affect bot lane, he was able to affect the jungle matchup. He was just there whenever his team needed him. Definitely.
And I am excited to see what they end up drafting as well to like make up for what happened last game. Obviously, I think Panthers want a very similar
Hmm.
team comp. They want to try to get a hard winning matchup for sure. But they also might want to try to take some power out of Mako's hands. I think
Hmm.
that's one of the best plans for them going into it.
So one thing to note, I did think Angrotis had a very, very good game too. Like he was definitely helping out his mid laner. He was there for those big gank setups, and they were just able to permanently shove down as the killer, push him under his tower, and dive him over and over. So I think the mid jungle duo was very, very important, especially game number one. And it was very important game number two with the Eagles taking on the not the Crusaders. That was game one. It was the Eagles taking on the. My brain is lagging, I think, but I think over.
The
Yeah,
Wizards.
the Wizards, yes. So
Yeah.
mid jungle duos were very, very important to both games, and I think that's where it's going to center around this game too. If Softworm can bail out Ezio Killer, I think it's going to be very, very helpful. So this is tiebreaker for third place. It's going to be a very, very fun one tonight.
Yeah, definitely excited for what we have in store for the rematch essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Rematch of the night here for third place. So very, very excited. We do have everyone loaded up in the lobby. We are just waiting for draft to get started. But once again, this is a rematch, and I want to see Solarcar not get hard shoved in lane. If he's able to apply a little bit more pressure, that will alleviate his jungler to make some more proactive plays, because he'll have that priority up in the top side. And because they weren't able to get priority down in the bot side for most of the game, other than, the Caitlyn Morgana not doing too hot on their own, but they were constantly shoving them with some mistakes. Like, health trades were not ideal, but overall, Prio was given over to that Caitlyn Morgana lane. It they do need to draft a winning lane up in the top side to maybe alleviate some of that pressure. Just have some more Prio in more lanes, because the Victor was not going to win that lane up against the Brand because of that early game damage that a Brand will always bring to the table.
yeah, for sure. I definitely would like to see them ban away the brand and make him play something else.
Well, they did take
uh
away a lot of his champions as well, so it's not just the Brand that was the issue. They did ban away his Anivia, so Defoe was definitely picked on throughout that ban phase, and he was able to get that niche pick, and it worked out very, very well.
yeah, for sure. Definitely a pretty an interesting pick for him. Not something that we see in the mid lane a lot. Generally, if we do see
Mm-hmm.
Brand, it's usually in bot lane, and even then, you don't see it in like competitive a lot. But he showed that it can be a very powerful pick. I just want to see him on something else and see what else he can do. I'm sure he can absolutely smash mid lane open on one of his other picks as well. But we will see if he's able to do that this game.
Mm-hmm. And well, let's hope Ezio Killer is able to pull himself back from that game number one, reset his mental. This is a tiebreaker, so that means that the Panthers did lose game number two, I believe. But it is looking very, very interesting, though. It's going to be a big fight tonight. This is a tiebreaker. This is for better seeding in the playoffs here. They are fighting for third place, and this is going to give them a little bit of an edge. It is going to let them play against one of those lower tier or lower seeded teams coming into playoffs, and it will leave the other team facing a higher tiered team. So this is a fight for seeding, and mostly that's about it.
Which is that's definitely nice. It's a little bit less pressure than a game that's purely for
Mm-hmm.
being in playoffs and being out of playoffs. Like the last one, it definitely felt like there was more hype, but also for the players specifically, it's very stressful to be in a situation like that. And this one, it's seeding, which is still important. You still want to have a high seed so
Mm-hmm.
you have a higher chance of moving on, but it's not as do or die as the last game was.
Definitely. And it's not do or die, so both of these teams should be a little more relaxed than the Eagles and the Wizards. So they should be taking a deep breath, just thinking about things, trying to think things over in their head, and see what they did wrong or what they did right in both games, and hopefully apply them to this game, because this is going to be important for seeding, but it's not do or die here. This is going to be a little more relaxed. So we are going to go right into draft. We'll be back in just a second. We'll see what both teams have in store for us in game number 2.
For sure, draft just about to get started. Hope they press play soon.
Yeah, that is what we are waiting for.
Wondering what they interesting. Wondering what each team will decide to ban away. I imagine we see the Seraphine ban coming out soon, and we are finally hopping into draft here.
There we go. Game number 3 starting off here. Let's see what is going to be taken away first chance. So I hope the Panthers are going to leave that Seraphine up and force the Crusaders to take that ban, because I do think Seraphine is one of the strongest first blind picks in the game. First B1 picks.
For sure. And Nunu being taken off the table. Not sure about that pick. I imagine that's just their junglers' more comfort picks is why that's getting banned away. The Hecarim, I really like being banned away. I think Hecarim's an extremely strong pick right now, especially with all the how much power it has in ganking specifically. The Senna ban, like I said before, I don't like that pick as much. It just feels like it doesn't do as much damage. I don't think they need to worry about that pick. Even if Mako did have a really good game on the Senna before, I'd be more worried about the Kaisa again. And they're getting rid of the Victor, it looks like,
No
next.
Victor for Ezio this time, and he was doing some of that damage in that mid to late game stages. It just wasn't as overwhelming as it should have been because he was so far behind.
And they do change their minds. They're going to go ahead and get rid of Tristana instead, and I do like that ban more. I think Tristana is a little more flexible and just a little more powerful in general, especially as a laner. She has a lot of power in both the mid and bot lane. And we also see the Gnar getting banned away, which I believe it was Sugar Daddy Draven who was having a field day, but they B1 Seraphine because it's left up, I am upset.
Yeah, I really do think Crusaders should have taken that pick away. It is the strongest B1 in the game, and it's just not something you should ever leave open. But this could let them pick the Caitlyn Morgana, but we did see them not opt into that because they... Oh, so they do pick up the Morgana. We'll see if they do take that strong pick of that Caitlyn here, but they did opt to give up the Caitlyn Morgana. But it is going to be a Swain, though, picked up R2 for the Crusaders. And I've seen Ezio Killer play that Swain, and he is very, very strong if given the opportunity to be.
So the thing is, Ezio Killer has a strong Swain, but I'm pretty sure Tainted Red plays a lot of Swain. Like, I think he, if I'm looking at this OP correctly, I was looking at it earlier, yeah, so he has 31 games on Swain this season,
Right.
which is a 48% win rate, which isn't like phenomenal, but it's not terrible by
That is
any
experience, though. It's experience on the champion, and that matters a lot if you are going to pick it. So it could be that Morgana in the support role, or it could be the Swain in the support role. We'll see which one does take place. But it is going to be countered by the Caitlyn pick, and we'll see what they do pick. They could opt into a Caitlyn Lux, but since the Morgana has already been given up, I wouldn't mind seeing a Karma here. And have that Seraphine in the mid lane for Defoe.
I think Karma is an interesting pick for sure, especially if Morgana does end up going into the support role. I think Karma is the best answer into Morgana. That is her notorious like bad matchup. Whenever I'm helping a team with draft, the supports are always like begging me to play Karma. Once they see the Morgana getting picked, it's a really strong pick into that champion for sure.
So they are going to pick up that Graves for that jungle role, and it is going to be answered by Shen up in the top lane. And Shen has been proven to be very, very strong right now in the meta because of the nerfs to a lot of the bruiser items. He is allowed to flourish, and Shen does provide a lot of global pressure. He can turn any fight from a 4v3 to a 5v3. He can just provide a huge numbers advantage just on his own with just that presence. So I would expect a CC-oriented top laner to stop that Shen from being able to match, and I think that's going to be something that Panthers are going to have to look to draft, and the Crusaders are just going to ban away that brand. We're not letting Defoe back on that champion tonight.
Yeah, definitely don't want him playing that brand. Getting rid of that, definitely a smart decision, and they definitely don't want Mako on anything like Vayne. Probably also gonna get rid of Kaisa if I had to guess, getting rid of some of those hyper carries in the bot lane.
Forcing Mako onto one of those less hyper carry champions, forcing him onto something that has to play a little more reliantly on his team, maybe like the Ashe. We'll see what Mako is going to pick up, because a lot of those hyper carries have been taken off the table. We'll see if the Jinx is left up.
For sure, Jinx would be a pretty solid pick. It actually pairs well with the Swain specifically. I think that would be solid. And Anivia, one of Defoe's picks, also being taken off the table. I really like that ban as well. Anivia makes it really, really hard for the Crusaders to go in and do anything. And yeah, let's see how they end up rounding out their team. I imagine they do pick their ADC here and they leave the counter pick up. Except that they probably already picked their solo laners, unless for some reason that is Morgana jungle.
We did see Broxa try and play that in the LCS, and it didn't go very well, so it is going to be a Sejuani in the jungle. She did get buffed very recently, but I don't think those buffs were enough to bring her back into the meta. And especially into a Graves, I don't feel like that's a very, very good jungle pick.
Oh no, Graves definitely thrashes Sejuani. Sejuani cannot really do anything against Graves. Graves has too much tempo on her, for sure. But now, besides that, real quick, I am very curious as to what the Crusaders might be doing, because there's a chance that this is a Swain Morgana bot lane, which would be very interesting.
So it is going to be that Shogat going up against the Shen in the bot lane, and the Sylas, as well as the knockup, do cancel both the teleport as well as the ultimate. So, or TP as well as the Stand United. So having a Cho'Gath there just to make sure Shen cannot join fights is going to be very, very strong. And Cho'Gath is one of those champions that does infinitely scale. He scales very, very well into the late game, and right now is a solo queue menace. We'll see if that is going to be the case here tonight. But overall, we haven't seen too many great performances off of Cho'Gath, so we'll see if Sugar Daddy Draven is going to be able to pull it off tonight. And just as the ban timers do tick down, we will see what the final pick is, and it is going to be a Lux. So it could be a flex pick here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely seems like that is their plan. They could still flex that to mid. They could flex it to support depending on where or what the Crusaders end up rounding out their team with. And whoa. That is okay.
That is a very risky pick in my opinion. The Kayle, if it does go up into that Cho'Gath, it is fine. But I do think it is very susceptible to getting ganked, especially with that Graves Cho'Gath combo. Graves does provide a slow, and it is enough to deal with her. But if she is allowed to do what she wants throughout the entire game, it's going to be very, very difficult. But they do have a lot of range on the side of the Panthers. They have that Seraphine ultimate, they have that Caitlyn auto attack range, they have that Lux. So we are going to get into Champions Select. We'll see where each of these champions does go, and we'll see what happens in game number 3.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how this one ends up going. I am still unsure of like where exactly each person is going, so I'm interested to see how they end up assigning their lanes. Realistically, I think the only one that's set in stone is Sejuani going jungle. That's the only one that's like, that's it. I could see.
That's all I can give, really.
Yeah. I suppose Shen and Swain could go bot. You could send Kayle and Swain bot, or you could send Kayle and Morgana bot. I think what we'll end up seeing is Swain support, because Tainted Red does play it so much. Kayle ADC, even though that sounds not like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then Morgana mid and Shen top. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
It's
but we'll see once Solkar locks his champion in.
So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the Crusaders have in store for us. Very, very wacky draft, but very, very fun one at the same time. And I do think every champion does do very, very well in a vacuum, but I don't really know if they all synergize very well. Sejuani and Shen synergize incredibly well because of the double melee. They are able to proc the passive from Sejuani very, very easily. So it is Shen up in that top lane, followed by Sejuani in the jungle. So the stable pick that we did predict is going to be up there in that jungle. So it is going to be either a Swain or Morgana mid, or potentially even a Kayle. But I don't know how Kayle fares into that Lux.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Kale doesn't have the greatest time against Lux. She should just get bullied. Oh, and that's what they're doing.
Oh,
okay.
it is the Kale mid here. That is what's going to happen. And if I don't see Defoe destroying that Kale, he needs to punish that pick. If that pick is allowed to just free scale, it doesn't matter how fed a Lux is, because a Kale at level 16 is an unkillable monster, is a raid boss.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think putting Kale up against Defoe, specifically as a player, is possibly one of the scariest decisions that they could have made. Because that guy is an absolute monster himself. If there's anyone that you want to be trying to shut down a Kale, it's definitely Defoe. After the game that he had on the brand, I could also see him just neutralizing this lane as well, just pushing the wave under, leaving, getting a kill, and Kale can't match that. Kale cannot possibly match that roam.
She does not have the wave clear, not nearly enough methods to actually match a Lux ever, and she will always be outranged. And that's going to be an issue, because she should be forced away from farm, and that's what I want to see out of Defoe in game number 2, or game number 3. So, Defoe, if you are listening in, your goal here is to force that Kale off of CS. You give up health, you give up mana, make sure that Kale is not allowed to play the game. That's what you got to do here.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely the plan that they want to go with here, making sure that she is not allowed to do anything. And they're actually having Mako play Swain and putting Tainted Red on Morgana, which is a little weird, because I know that Tainted Red likes to play a good bit of the Swain, but probably more comfortable with playing the Morgana, or at least Mako that might be more comfortable with the Swain over the Morgana, so that's why they decide to divvy up those champions as they did, I would imagine, anyway.
That probably makes the most sense. So Mako must be more comfortable on the Swain. We have seen him pop off, though, on 80 carries. We'll see how his mage play works out. But I think Mako as a player is very, very strong, and I do think that Wolven is going to have to focus on neutralizing Mako here, because the fact that they do not have a true 80 carry with very, very long range means that overall I do think they have a great time outscaling if they just play their cards right. Although there is the Kale, they do have the chance to blow her up.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're able to find some good picks for sure, and being able to blow that champion up would be very helpful for them. I'm interested to see what happens at the top lane though. The Cho'Gath Shen, probably gonna be nothing, but interesting to see if Shen would be able to punish Cho'Gath. I have recently seen a game where Cho'Gath was just solo killing the top laner over and over again. I'm hoping I don't see that much at least, even though it would be pretty exciting.
Would definitely be very, very exciting. But I do think Shen overall is a very, very strong champion, and he fares very well into the tanks because he does have a lot of ways to damage them. He has a lot of percent health damage once he builds up that Titanic Hydra along with his Q autos. They do a lot of work. But one thing to note is a lot of the Crusaders' damage is magic. So if that Cho'Gath just forces MR, it's going to be very, very hard for them to take him down. The damage split is very, very poor on the Crusaders' side.
Yeah, definitely feels like the Crusaders don't have a lot of damage in the at least in the top side of the map, and in the early game they really don't have anything besides like Swain. I think Swain's their main source of damage, and meanwhile the Panthers, I believe it is, have a ton of damage throughout pretty much the entire game.
Exactly. They have damage everywhere. Damage in the jungle, damage in the mid lane, damage in the bot lane. Both Seraphine and Caitlyn do a lot of damage, and maybe Cho'Gath doesn't do that much on his own, but if he sets up for a Graves, it's going to be a rough time for everyone on the Crusaders. So Draven is going to be on less of a carry this time, more of a stable pick here up in the top lane, and we'll see if that does work out here. But overall, I think it is going to be a better draft from the Panthers in game number 3, but if the Crusaders are allowed to do what they want, if they are allowed to let that Swain get far ahead, let the Kale scale up, I do definitely think they have a great chance of winning.
For sure, I definitely think that they have a pretty high chance.
But it's very conditional. Very,
Yes.
very conditional.
For sure. Just gotta get Kale to level 16, and all of a sudden things things go very well for them. That being said, that's much easier said than done.
Definitely, definitely. It's all on Mako here. Mako has to make or break this game. And
Yeah.
it's going to be on him to do a lot of work here. Because he's their only early game source of damage. Kale does not have that early game that she used to, because she did get hard nerfed during the early weeks of Season 11, or even before that in the preseason. So we are going to cut off to a quick break, but before we do, who do you think wins draft here?
Oh, 100% give it to the Panthers. It's a lot easier to execute.
And I'd have to agree with you there too. So we are going to go off to a quick break. Hopefully you guys will stick with us as we do go into game number 3. I am very excited to see how this goes. So we'll be right back. Take care, everyone. We'll see how this comes out. This is tiebreaker for 3rd place.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me.
Welcome back. Here we are. And this is going to be the tiebreaker for the Panthers taking on the Crusaders. This is the fight for 3rd. This is the fight for better seeding. We'll see which place or which team is able to get the better of the day. Right now, the Panthers are 1-0 up against the Crusaders on this day, because they did have this matchup earlier as game number 1 stream game. But the Crusaders are back. They're coming here with a vengeance. They are looking to make something happen. And I really hope they put up a gigantic fight and don't fall over like they did in game number 1.
Yeah, for sure. And they're stacking. I guess they were thinking that there was going to be an invade. They haven't. They're setting up as if they were looking to counter invade, or not counter invade, but like wait for the invade.
Yeah.
But I that's just not happening. I don't know why they would ever want to invade in this situation.
So if you just look here, the Swain did just pick up his starter items he forgot to buy before the game actually started. So he was forced to take a base here. And what do you think of the call buy on the Kale?
Oh, it's interesting. We were talking about that. We were talking about the Cole. We were talking about you mentioned the Cole. You mentioned the press the attack. You also said that fleet footwork would have been better, which I definitely agree with. Both of these decisions are extremely greedy. I don't think you can go Cole unless you have fleet footwork.
Yeah, definitely, because you lose a lot of that health, you lose a lot of that sustain from the Doran's ring, because Kale is very reliant on mana from the early game to make sure she is allowed to stay in lane. So she uses that W to heal up, keep herself nice and topped up, but without the fleet, it's going to be hard to keep herself that way. Ooh, nice root though on to Seraphim down in the bot lane. The root from Taint and Red is going to miss though, so they are going to be able to get away, and it's a nice health trade for the Panthers here.
For sure, and definitely being able to get that.
Another root onto Nairo, and Nairo's getting chunked. But Wolven Alchemist is not letting that go, and Mako is chunked very, very early into this game.
Yeah, that's the hard part about playing Swain, is that you're also going to be out damaged early by most ADCs, and when that ADC also happens to be Caitlyn, who is notorious for absolutely bullying other ADCs and being able to keep up in early game damage just because she has so much range, and there's not really anything you can do to answer her damage. Which the Swain essentially has to hold his E for Caitlyn to walk up and then throw that out and try to.
He is going to land it on Nairo, and a double root is going to land, so a lot of damage is going to come through onto him. But Mako is also going to take a nice health trade in return. So well played from Wolven, making sure that he is able to poke out that AD carry from their side, and 2 potions already burned for both Nairo and Mako. And we do see the Graves going for a 3 buff. He did take the blue from that Sejuani. She is going to be very, very hungry throughout most of this game because she did pick that into the Graves, not respecting what a Graves is able to do in that jungle.
Also, it seems like she's clearing ridiculously slow. She
Mm-hmm.
seems to have gone for a full clear, I think. She has... Okay, so if she finishes these... Oh, hold on a second.
Ooh,
Kale? Kale's
straight
fine.
from Kill. Not very in her favor. She is also very low on mana. And we do see the Graves just walking through that mid lane. He is spotted out, but this is going to be a guaranteed double scuttle, and this Sejuani is not going to be having a fun time.
No, Sejuani cannot play this game. I don't think there's a single way Sejuani is allowed to actually get what she needs. If anything, she needs to invade the top side of the map and go for those buffs. Instead, what she's doing is she's ganking top, which based on how the camera hasn't moved up there on my screen, I imagine it's not. She's not getting a good gank off, and
No, so she is going to go for a base here, and she's just losing tempo like crazy. But a beautiful root from Mako is going to land onto two. Nairo is forced to flash. The Ignite is burned, and the Morgana is going to be rooted up and taking a gigantic trade as well. So flash is burned from Nairo, but beautiful health trade following from Wolven Alchemist. But one thing, no, she got rooted again, and the heal is going to be forced. Tainted Red is going to land a nice root onto Wolven. The trap is going to fail to land, and heal is forced. So great summoner burns from the Crusaders, and only for one Ignite. And they have two, so it doesn't even matter.
Ham Graves waiting in the wings. He's going to go ahead and back. I thought he was actually taking a little bit more as a...
Oh, no, Sejuani. So they are going to go in on her, but the root is not going to land. And Wolven is going to be forced to flash because he was left alone. But it is going to be a nice health trade onto Tainted Red. He is taking a lot of damage. So Wolven is using that space very, very well. That extended auto attack range is doing a lot of work. And Swain is very so he is not going to be able to do very much anymore.
Yeah, for sure. But on the plus side, so is Seraphine and Caitlyn. So they're... Oh, well, she's looking for something. Trying to find it, but won't be able to get what she...
Oh, Mako's gonna...
Oh my god!
Live! He is going to live, and Gratis is stuck in the wrong side of the map. He is going to be maybe pulled around by Sovereign, but here comes the TP from the Lux. Is going to come and match and protect her jungler, and is going to burn that summoner, and the wave might be frozen by Ezio Killer if the camera would pan over. We shall see. But very, very close from Gratis. That could have gone a lot better.
Yeah, could have gone better for him. Also could have gone a lot worse. Could have been just CC'd under the tower and killed, so at least he gets away with his life, but he ends up trading his flash away for nothing, which is definitely not what you want to see. It's very unfortunate for him, but we do see Kale as a result also, because Lux had to teleport in and save it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, Graves also forces Lux to teleport for him because he was in such a bad position as a result and not getting a kill out of it either. So it's good that it's
nice from Defoe. It's gonna force the Kale ultimate out very, very early into the game, and that is on such a long cooldown.
Yeah, as opposed to Lux's ult, and her ult is rapidly approaching being up again.
It's already a quarter of the way finished. But not a great trade coming from Ezio Killer. The wave is not in the greatest spot, but he is looking to do some damage to those casters, so it is going to push back into Defoe. But they are looking to do something here. The Graves might be caught out in the bad spot. He is getting collapsed on by 3. But he is going to be able to jump over that wall. The camera's not letting me see that, but at least I can watch my minimap. But the Eye of Sauron is going to do some decent damage, but the Bone Plating from Seraphine is going to keep her nice and topped up. But Mako is taking a big health train in exchange for landing that Eye.
So something to note is that
Seraphine, oh no! Wolven is in a bad spot, got double rooted up here, is very, very low. The Ignite might just be able to tick him down to death. The Eye of Sauron is not going to land. Mako is very, very low. He's going to fall to the Seraphine First Blood over to Nairo. And oh my goodness, that was very, very scary.
Yeah, that was an interesting situation for both sides, and Swain thought he could walk up a little farther, try to get some more damage, but once the Seraphine route came out, it was lights out for him. The double Q coming out right after means that he's just going to die. Not a lot he can do about that one. The first Q, I think, would have been enough to kill him, but the fact that there's 2 on top of that, yeah, there's just no way that if you're that low, you are living against that ability. It does a lot more damage the lower you are. So yeah, just a really good kill for the Seraphine.
One thing to note, SEO Killer is going for that attack damage build. He does have that Nude Quiver. Is probably looking for the Kraken Slayer or maybe the Shield Bow. But, oh no! A beautiful, beautiful route from Defoe is going to mean that Ezio is chunked out of lane. He does have the teleport available to him, so he might be able to return and catch that wave. But that is going to be a summoner burn for an ultimate, and I think that is very, very worthwhile.
For sure, managing to get that get that spell is pretty solid for him.
Or is he going to sacrifice the wave? We'll see.
I guess. Actually, yeah.
He is going to sacrifice the wave.
I definitely disagree with that. On one hand, yes, if you teleport in, Lux just QEs you, but you really need as much experience as possible to make sure you're hitting your power spikes on time. If you're falling behind in the experience, it's like, it makes playing Kale feel really, really bad.
Definitely. One thing that I'm not very versed in is the attack damage kill. I don't know how well she does in that late game, especially up into a champion like the Caitlyn, who is able to just output more, I think, as a physical damage carry. And the final spark is going to be used in the mid lane just to push that wave to make sure that they have priority on that dragon, and the Sejuani is just going to be pushed out. Softworm not having the greatest time, but is decently keeping up in CS in that jungle. Ooh, Softworm taking a big chunk here. Gonna Q forwards, is gonna land, but Angratis is just gonna be killed super, super early into this fight, but Ezio Killer is also very low. Softworm is 1 HP. Here comes the Stand United as well as the Kale ultimate. That Invulnerable is not gonna do anything here. Tainted Red is very, very low, is 1 HP. Defoe is gonna land and gonna take him down with that E. It is going to do so much damage here, and the Nevermore is going to land onto 2, but that flash is going to mean the death of Wolven Alchemist, and Ezio Killer is going to flash forward and take another kill. Defoe is going to fall, and Naru is caught on the wrong side of the lane. Nevermore is going to land once again, and triple kill for Ezio Killer, and that is not where you want those kills to be.
Not where you want those kills to be if you were Panthers, but if you're the Crusaders, you're like, hell yeah, give me those kills on the Kale, and they make sure to give those kills over to that champion as well, and that's really, really huge for them. And especially considering the last game that they played, or the first game rather.
Mako might be taking a lot of damage, but the Glacial Prison is going to land, and he is just going to fall, and Gratis, once again, caught out on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, all of a sudden the Panthers are just losing their focus and dying all around the map. The only place that nobody has died so far for them is in the top lane, which is just breaking even, but really, I don't know what
Smite
they were
early.
doing there in bot lane.
This could mean a steal. Oh, it was so close, but it could have been a nice steal. Very, very close from the Panthers, and that ultimate, that final spark did force the early smite.
Yeah, it definitely did, which definitely makes it very scary for them to try to go for it. And I really thought Seraphine had actually stolen it right there, but unfortunately that was not the case. So the Crusaders are able to pick up the Mountain Dragon, and of course the 3 kills from that previous fight being on Kale. She is level 8, trying to get up to that level 11 where she will do a lot more. And even though she is 3-0 right now,
it's still a
she
kill.
still won't feel powerful. It'll just make her scaling and make her power spike hit a little sooner, and that is something to be very wary of when you're playing someone like Kale. Is even though you just got 3 kills, it's not like you can just go in and start killing everybody, as opposed to some being 3-0 on a champion like maybe a Lucian, Kalista, Tristana, something like that. Then those champions, once you get fed, you just start pushing that lead. But now with Kale, you take that lead and you sit on it a bit more.
Definitely, the Kale is where you want those kills, though, but I think the Crusaders do have to realize that that's not where you want to be, but the ultimate is going to come out, or not the ultimate, the Black Shield is going to come out from Tainted Red, and they are just going to force them away from that wave, but a nice health trade in exchange for that. This is going to be a fight up in the Rift Herald, however, and Gratis is going to dash forward once again, trying to stack up that true grit, but they might be able to just force them away and take this Rift Herald for themselves. They are a lot stronger in the 3v3 right now. Ultimate is up on all of them, but Tainted Red is going to be caught up by the beat drop, and so much damage is going to happen, but rooted up is this Mako, and Mako is going to use that demonic form, and it's just not going to do very much. Nairo is looking to maybe land something, but the Nevermore is going to land, and Nairo is taken down very, very low. Tainted Red is also, both in 1 HP. Flash Forward from Mako is going to mean he's able to land that, but Flash Forward from Wolven Alchemist is going to mean another kill in return for that. Wolven is trying, he's going to try and land that ace in the hole, and it is going to land. Goes true, that shot, that is going to be a beautiful, beautiful snipe from Wolven, and that is going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of the Panthers down on the bot side, and a Rift Herald on the top side.
Yeah, that Caitlyn just absolutely outplaying them. The flash forward to dodge the Morgana Q to get the auto in order to finish off Morgana. And then, of course, just popping the ult onto the Swain means that he goes down, which is a huge double kill for the Caitlyn in the bot lane. Definitely needed that. And meanwhile, on the top side,
Ezio Killer is very, very low. Is at 1 HP. Flash auto might be able to do it, but unfortunately, it's not available, but the collateral damage is able to pick it up from Angratis, able to make up for those earlier mistakes with that play.
Yeah, now Panthers are fighting back for sure, and all of a sudden, all of those plays that they made earlier don't seem as bad. Yes, the Kale still is 3-1-0, but you also, you know what?
Nairo, you might be caught in the bad spot, but Defoe is here to keep you alive. Why are you walking back? The Glacial Prison is going to land. The root is going to miss, but he is going to be pulled back from the Swain. And Flash towards the Swain is not the play you want to make.
No, definitely not. We might see some more in the mid lane here.
Things are looking very, very spicy. The foe very low. The root is going to miss, but there is no Black Shield, but the Black Binding is going to land, and no, he's going to be pulled back, and that's just going to be Mako claiming up a kill in the mid lane for free.
Yeah, for sure, and that's a really good play for the Crusaders. Just as we were talking about how the Panthers were trying to equalize this game, all of a sudden the Crusaders fire back.
Oh no, not again! Ingratus gets pulled back by the Nevermore and is going to fall. And he just stepped up way too far.
Yeah, and they fire back again. They find another kill under the mid lane tower. It's a lot of greedy plays, a lot of, like, they just don't know where to position necessarily, with the Graves just standing a little bit too far up under tower.
Oh, it is going to land, but Mako is just going to be able to fast attack this turret. He has the Black Shield keeping alive, but here comes Ace in the hole, but Seraphine is caught up, rooted up, and is going to fall. But here comes the final spark, is only going to land on the Sejuani, but the Chomp, the big ol' feast, is going to take him down. But everyone is very, very low on the side of the Crusaders, and Arun is going to land on the Ezio Killer. Does he have the ultimate? He does. He is not going to use it. He is silenced up, and that is going to prevent him from doing it, but the flash auto is going to slow Mako down, and he's going to be taken down by the Cho'Gath. A shutdown for him, and that Cho'Gath is hungry. He's here for a feast.
Yeah, and they, once again, it's just a blow to blow, back and forth. This game is just a 1-2 punch from each side. It's both of them. It's so bloody. It's 9-10 right now. Yes, the Panthers do have a gold lead, but the Crusaders are still fighting back at each and every turn, and I'm just ready for now the Crusaders to come back onto the map. See the Panthers now overstaying their welcome and trying to fight back, but that's where the Panthers need to say, okay,
let's take this Drake.
Slow down the game. We don't need to stay far up anymore. We can go take this dragon. They can't do anything about it. We win straight up team fights. We can't miss position in weird places. We need to stop that. If they can stop doing that, they just win the game.
Oh, beautiful double root from Ezio Killer. It's going to mean a double final spark, and the kill off, but it's going to come through 1 HP on Ezio Killer. Does the collateral damage. It's not going to land. It's not going to be enough, but flash forward from Ingratus. Is he going to be able to get this kill under the tower? He is going to E over the wall. He is going to dash, and he's going to miss the Q, but that is going to be a kill onto Ezio Killer. Mako is trying to drain tank his way to victory down in the bot side. Sugar Daddy Draven is still alive, doing a lot of work here. And Nairo is alive. He does not have the Encore, but he is going to land that root onto Tainted Red. And the Black Shield's not going to come out in time. And he's rooted up, and is going to Zonia's become gold in a statue. And he is going to fall like the statue he became.
Yeah, that should be it. Chen TPing in, not able to find anything right after. And Panthers now taking a lead in not only the gold, which they've had for a while, but now leading in kills, and they're looking very, very good right now. But Kale's still trying to get as many levels as possible, but she actually hasn't been getting much XP recently. She is level 9, where the other solo laners are level 11. Every other solo laner in the game is level 11, and you need her to be getting this XP.
Oh, Nevermore is going to land onto Nairo, and he's taken very, very low. ISR not going to mean anything, though. But well played from Mako, trying to find something, just not able to find enough.
yeah, not able to find that kill. And as I was saying, with the Kale needing the XP, she's level 10 now, but she needs to be slowing down this game. The Crusaders also want this game to be as slow as possible so they can go and get their waves as well and get this Kale rolling. And now, at this point, you can say, if you're the Panthers, all right, let's speed up the game. Let's try to finish this as fast as possible, but let's do it smart. Let's not be caught out in weird positions. Let's all, group up in certain areas and just absolutely wreck the Crusaders as a team and make sure we do this soon before Kale is able to hit level 16.
I think it's going to be a long time until she is able to hit that level, but they are still on a timer. They have about maybe 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left before that Kale is able to ding over to that 16. So they do have to play more carefully. They do have to try and push their lead even further. But we did take a look at gold distribution, and a lot of that gold is on that Cho'Gath, and on that Lux, not on the Caitlyn, however. She is behind about 400 gold. So overall, a lot of that lead is up in the top side of the map.
Yeah, for sure. That is a solid place for their gold to be, I'd say. For at least the.
Oh no! Wolven is going to be rooted up by the Morgana, and the ultimate is going to mean he's going to get stunned. Flash is going to be forced, and that's just going to be a chomp, a feast. But Ingratus is caught on the wrong side of the map. And once again, the Immortal Shield, though, is not going to be enough, as Mako is going to use that Demon Flare and take that kill up in the top side.
So, I have no idea when this happened, but Mako is 7-3. I guess I wasn't paying attention to his KDA, because last time I saw he wasn't doing too hot, and now all of a sudden he's
SEO
got
killer,
kills.
no, not again. He's going to be silenced up, and he's going to try and trade it, but Wolven Alchemist able to take that one with a nice headshot. Wow.
Yeah, for sure. A nice headshot is able to find that kill, and I don't know why Kale and Morgana are fighting Caitlyn and Cho'Gath. There is no way that you guys are going to be able to get those kills with Cho'Gath as tanky as he is.
Oh.
And, so, yeah.
Now we're trying to do something. He's going to land the first part, but that doesn't really matter. And Sejuani cannot be slowed until her passive does break. So not going to mean much. But map state is looking very, very much in favor of the Panthers. They are very, very far ahead. And that's just how things are right now. They just have to push their lead a little bit more. Maybe try and get some Drakes in their pockets. They only have one. And if they are able to get some of those Drakes, get those Clouds in their pockets, try and just get ahead, that's what they need to do. They need to make sure this Kale does not hit her 16, like you said earlier.
For sure. Definitely making these plays fast for the side of Panthers is the name of the game at this point. I'm just, like I said, smart plays. You wanna up the tempo, but you don't want to overstay your welcome in certain situations. And you don't wanna,
oh no! SEO killer, no! He is gonna use the ultimate very early. Defoe is gonna flash backwards, and the Glacial Person is gonna land onto Wolven, but they are going to be able to get away. It is going to force the TP out of Cho'Gath, but the Encore is going to land onto 4! Beautiful, beautiful play from the Seraphine, and that is going to be another headshot onto the Kale. And Draven is doing so much work down in the middle of everyone. Mako trying to 1v1 Mako, and the Ignite is going to mean Ingratus is not going to heal very much. Flash from Nairo. He's going to flash forward, and the Root is going to land onto 2, but Mako is caught on the wrong side. He is going to fall to Ingratus, finally being able to claim one for himself.
And that's why we picked Seraphine first on blue side, if you leave it up. Picking B1 Seraphine is absolutely huge, and that ultimate is what really just made that fight happen.
That was a 4-man Encore. A beautiful, beautiful beat drop. And this is not going very, very well for the Crusaders. They are just throwing fights. They're getting caught out where they can't be walking. And Solar Car, no. Is he going to be dove? They are not going to dive him, but he is in not a great spot. He is very, very far behind. He's a very, very hungry Shen.
Yeah, Shen not having the best time in this game right now. Morgana wants to try to shove the Cho'Gath away, but Cho'Gath says, oh, hey look, a snack. I want to try to ult that one, try to eat that Morgana up. That is my plan, and Morgana realizes that she can't really do anything about Cho'Gath. That jungle is Cho'Gath's jungle at the moment, and she's just going to let him live in it for now.
He is very, very hungry, and he's been feasting already 5-0. And it just is looking like a Panthers victory here so far, but it's never over till it's over. Thank you, Gurp, for that one. But it's not looking very good, but Nairo might be caught in the wrong spot. The Nevermore is not going to land, and the Final Spark is going to go wide. The E is going to land, but the Glacial Person is also going to land on Nairo, and he's caught in a bad spot. He is going to be taken down by Tainted Red, but Wolven is going to be taken down by the Kale. Solo kill from Ezio Killer, and Wolven just stayed way too long inside that Kale ultimate. That Divine Justice coming through.
Yeah, Caitlyn being taken down, a solo kill for the Kale, and Kale starting to come back into the game. Level 12, trying to equalize the solo laner levels, is now on the same level as Lux at the very least, is looking for as much XP as possible, finds the Raptors, gonna collect those, gonna go up top lane, try to look for the Krugs, doesn't find any Krugs, gonna go top lane, actually, and then start killing those minions, push that wave in, probably, hopefully back, so she doesn't die. It's definitely the plan there, I would imagine. If she doesn't back, gracious, yeah, she's gonna walk back.
That singular
Reset,
minion
of
is
course,
walking
and
its
then
way up in the top side, trying to maybe hit that tower, but it's going to be caught by the other minions. Very, very sad story here. And I think that's the same story for the Crusaders right now. Kale is trying her best, but
oh my God.
no! Tainted Red is going to be TP'd on. The flash is going to come through. And Tainted Red is not looking very, very hot on this Morgana. And Draven is just a big boy. He's a big chonker. And that's just so much damage. And they have so much range. They're just forcing all of the Crusaders out of their jungle. And no, you're in the wrong spot. You're not where you need to be, Softworm. You're going to get caught out. He's forced to flash. And that they're just going to take that one away. The collateral damage. Oh, not the collateral damage, but Mako is trying to do stuff to Sugar Daddy Draven, but he just takes 0 damage. He doesn't care. He is just going to walk through everyone. And they may look for a fight. The Nevermore is going to land. He's going to be pulled back, but the Glacier Prison is going to land. But the Encore is going to only land on the Sejuani. That's not where you want it to be. And they have to kite backwards with Mako taking so much damage from the Caitlyn. Here comes the final spark onto 3! And it's Mako is going to stopwatch, but that is going to be a dead Morgana. And here comes Ace in the hole. Long range means everything. And that Caitlyn is able to snipe that one. Another headshot for her.
So, I know Kale is level 12 and not level 16 yet. But even so, Kale said, yeah, sorry team, I'm not doing anything until level 16. That fight there in mid lane, tough. That sucks. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, have fun.
Everybody.
She's gonna take that turret down in the bot side, but this is just gonna be a Baron trade for that tier 1. But Cho'Gath might be caught in a bad spot. The Sejuani is chilling in that bot side jungle. Trading that Baron for a Cho'Gath, I don't know how worthwhile that one is, but Gratis did smite there. I don't know what for, but I mean, they have no vision on the Sejuani. Oh well.
He can smite now, and then I think, when does he have smite? He has it up. Oh, he didn't smite it. Okay.
Oh, that was a weird. But I guess the red buff is not going to be given. They still have it left up in the bot side. They are going to try and set up for this Drake. Softform and Solarcar looking to walk up and maybe do something, but I think it's a little rough.
Yeah, for sure. They have a... Well, Cho'Gath is here now.
He's there. He's a big boy. Oh, and yes, I will grab that stack counter for you. That Cho'Gath is sitting at a nice 10. He's very, very hungry. And he has been eating. But he's hungry for more. And, ooh, that root almost landed. And the Ace in the hole is going to come out. It's going to do some damage to Tainted Red. But on the flank is Sugar Daddy Draven. Is able to land it on 2. And the Nevermore is going to land on 2. But Tainted Red is caught in a bad spot. Flash forward from Defoe is going to catch out Mako. And Draven is able to pick up another kill, and the Shen ultimate is forced to stand united. But Nairo, you walked way too far forward, and it's just traded for nothing.
Yeah, and because Seraphine dies, that means it's a little harder for the side of the Panthers to do anything. And she died with Bolt as well, which is absolutely huge for the side of the Crusaders. That being said, it looks like the Panthers are just allowed to do this dragon anyway. It looks like they're not going to contest that, and Kale, to her credit, did teleport this time. It just felt like she teleported a little late. I think as soon as the Morgana Zanya's comes through, you can start channeling at that point. Which of course we don't know the comms either. We don't know when people are calling for the TP, but if you're playing Kale and you're gonna play the side lanes, you need to be paying attention.
Oh my god, that is so much damage onto that turret, but Solarcar is gonna try and defend it with his life. Sugar Daddy Draven doing so much work here. He's just gonna take down the tower before even worrying about Solarcar. The Ignite is gonna go down onto him, but he's just so tanky, and Gratis is here to try and help his laner out, and that is gonna be some collateral damage onto that Morgana. Shot to the face, that jaw is broken.
Yeah, this Cho'Gath is just an absolute unit right now, and you know, Crusaders 3 more levels and maybe it'll be doable.
Oh no, and Gratis is forced to flash. Nembor is gonna land. and not what you want to see. But hey, you see this Shogath? I'm excited for the new King Kong versus Godzilla movie, but I'm watching it right now.
Definitely feels like we're watching that for sure. I feel like if we were though, there would be a Wukong in the game. There's not a Wukong,
Close enough.
so-
Close enough. Maybe it's Godzilla 2016 or something like that. We'll see. But oh my god, Etsu Killer is almost going to fall. It's going to force that Divine Justice out. And here comes an Encore onto 2. Mako is caught in a bad spot. And another Seraphine Root is going to land onto 2. Soft form is very, very low. 5-4 is not going to do it. It's not going to do it. He's going to be able to claim it with that Q, with that V-drop. It's enough. But Solar Car is stuck under his own tower. And the Cho'Gath is just taking it up. Is going to eat. He is hungry. And he feasted on the body of that Shen. And this is going to be a tower take for them. Oh my god, that Gargoyle Shield is huge. That is not fair. That is just too big. And the Kale is trying. She is trying, but she's just going to get taken down. That headshot is more than enough to claim that one. Tainted Red caught in a bad spot. Final Spark is not going to be able to claim that kill in time. That is going to be game number 2, or game number 3, over to the Panthers. Well played.
Well played to the Panthers, and they played just as good as... I'd say they didn't play quite as well. It was different lanes playing well this game, I feel like. The top laner, once again, popping off, but also credit to the Caitlyn, who was also absolutely popping off and making flashy outplays as well in the bot lane, and that was insane to see. And of course, you have to give credit to Defoe, even though he didn't have a super high amount of kills. He did have a very high KP. He's tied for the most KP in the game with the Caitlyn, and he also neutralized the Kayle, and that was really important. It was making sure that Kayle was not allowed to get to level 16.
And she was not allowed to get to that 16. She ended the game level 14, just behind almost everyone on the Panthers. Everyone played incredibly well there. There were a couple of blunders, but that doesn't matter if you're able to close it out. It was not the prettiest game, but sometimes ugly games are what get you wins. So they were able to take that one home. And overall, who do you think takes player of the game before we do cut to break?
I'd have to give it either to the Cho'Gath or the Caitlyn. I don't think anyone else can really... I'm trying to make maybe the Seraphine for the ults as well. Lux neutralizing the mid lane is useful as well. Graves being allowed to do whatever he wants. I think they all played well, but the ones... they all played good, but the ones that played exceptionally well, I have to say, are Cho'Gath and Caitlyn.
Definitely. Wolfen making a name for himself. Game number 3 here. Did not have the greatest showing in game number 1. He did play well there, but this time he put his name down and he was like, I want Pog. But it might go to Sugar Daddy Draven. I think both of these players are very deserving of this title for game number 3. And that's going to be tiebreaker in favor of the Panthers, and they are going to take themselves to 3rd place with this game. So we will cut to a quick break. We'll be right back. But please vote. We'll see what happens. We'll see who you guys vote as player of the game. And I think everyone played very well, but my top 2 contenders have to be Wolven and Sugar Daddy Draven. So we'll see you guys in just a little bit. You don't want to miss our little discussion that we'll have here. So we'll see what happens. Take care, guys.
Without a single word spoken, without even trying.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm going to turn down that music real quick. So it is going to be Mr. Wolven Alchemist, my fellow caster, up on the player of the game. He has taken home a pog for himself here on that Caitlyn pick, playing very, very well, landing some of those flashy plays, and just headshotting everyone from around the map. The ace in the holes coming in very, very clutch. But what do you have to say about game number 3, Mr. Jackson?
That was it was an interesting game for sure. The draft was a very, very difficult one for the Crusaders to work with, and to their credit, they were actually making a lot of good plays, and I think that was probably a much closer game than the first one,
Mm-hmm.
mainly towards the early game. Uh, Comparing all 3 games that we've had, this is definitely the most competitive one I think we had today. The issue that they had was they weren't able to get their KO rolling, and they gave up too much. So the Panthers were able to close out the game a lot faster.
Definitely. There were some blunders on the Panthers side, however, but the Crusaders were not able to take advantage of them enough. Sure, the kill got a triple kill, but she was very, very starved of experience even after that. So I think they could have played a little bit better around the Kale. They needed to try and buy her time, and they just weren't able to get her enough. They weren't able to cash out in the vending machine of the time slot. They weren't able to do enough, and I think that's the issue of picking that Kale. You're very reliant on the rest of your team carrying because you're a caster minion until level 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Making Playing the champion like Kale or Cassidon that has to like get up to level 16 makes it very difficult to play the game, especially when the other team has someone like Caitlyn who can just
Mm-hmm.
stomp the early game. You have nothing that can punish that, so it definitely makes it very difficult for them.
And they did draft the Morgana Swain, and the Caitlyn was picked afterwards, however, but they did not adapt very, very well. I think Caitlyn is one of those AD carries who plays very, very well into mages in that bot lane. A lot of others do tend to suffer like most of the traditional carries like the Jinx, like the Kai'Sa, they do suffer into mages because they cannot match their output in the early game. But Caitlyn is one of those that is allowed to be lane dominant, especially with her range.
Yeah, her range definitely makes playing against her very, very difficult and extremely annoying, especially as someone who likes to play a lot of Lucian and Jinx. Jinx is a little bit easier now, but playing Lucian into Caitlyn always makes me very, very
Mm-hmm.
upset.
Very, very sad. It's not very fun for anyone. But Wolfen definitely had a good time, and I think he definitely deserved player of the game tonight. He played out of his mind in game number 3. He was outputting damage like no other. And I just think overall, yes, Sugar Daddy Draven did so much work, but I think Wolven he was an X factor this game. It was Defoe in game number 1, but this time I do think it was Wolven who was that X factor. He was outputting so much damage. He was able to abuse his range. He was able to stay back. He did have to blow his flash a couple of times, but he was able to just output what he needed to do. He realized how he had to play the game, and he played it perfectly.
Yeah, definitely played it as best as he could for sure.
Couple of blunders, hey, but I mean, he was still outputting numbers. His damage was very, very high, and I think his support was not doing the greatest job in certain situations. He's getting caught out a little bit, but I think he more than made up for it with those beautiful encores. So I think overall the bot lane of the Panthers played extremely well. Those encores to were something from another world. That 4-man, 3-man, just constantly landing those.
Yeah, those ults were absolutely devastating for the Crusaders to deal with.
Mm-hmm. I do think that one encore by the line brush down in the Dragon Pit was definitely a game-winning play, but I don't think if Wolven was not as far ahead or if he didn't play as well as he did, I don't think it would have been a game-winning play. So having him so far ahead was enough to make it so that that ultimate did work. That ultimate did its job. But one thing to note, though, Mako played very, very well on that Swain. He was very fed, but I just don't think he was doing enough with that gold.
Yeah, he was playing very well. It just felt like he needed to do just a tad bit more, and things would have gone his way. It was just very hard to
Mm-hmm.
be able to pull that one out, I feel like.
Damage-wise, Mako did end up doing the most out of anyone, but I just think he was not there in situations where his team needed to be. But having that Caitlyn with the ultimate, with the ace in the hole, she's able to match those. She's able to have the range, have the ability to affect the map from very far away. And I think that was one issue with that Swain. He is very short ranged, more of a mid range mage. He is able to output some decent numbers, but he's not able to affect the map nearly as quickly as other mages like that Lux that was picked up by Defoe.
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, well played from the Panthers. But thank you for joining us for this tiebreaker. It was a blast. And what do you think? Final conclusions, final thoughts before we do end tonight?
Really excited to see both teams, honestly, in the playoffs. I think that'll be really, really fun. I think both of these teams have a lot of potential going forward.
I definitely have to agree with you. Everyone is looking strong. Everyone's bringing out the big guns coming in. So we'll see if both of these teams are able to make a dent, make a deep run into playoffs. I definitely do think both of these teams have the potential. We'll just see if they are able to bring it through. So with that, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with the LRS draft. And Wednesday, Thursday is going to be pre-mades for both. Or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be pre-mades for every league, and then Valorant on the weekend. So we'll see you guys then. Take care, everyone. Have a good night, and listen to some music as we go out. Take care.